Yo! Nako, may technical difficulties pa pala tayo doon. And there you go. Welcome guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone watching and listening to us live. This is Timeless Gamer, where our games and gaming experiences may grow out of date, but our gaming experiences will forever remain timeless. This is a weekend podcast show that discuss everything about video games, brought to you by Pinoy Retro Gaming. For those who are still not aware, hanggang ngayon pa rin ba guys, di nyo pa rin ba alam, our previous live shows are still available for streaming by going to the Facebook page of Pinoy Retro Gaming. And of course, kung di nyo naman hilig ang Facebook, you can still watch us. You can still go to the YouTube page of Timeless Gamer PRG. Well, you can still watch our previous live shows. And of course, you can also catch us sa Twitch under Pinoy Retro Gaming din. And of course, our audio format ng aming shows, you can also listen to that using Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast. So, as you can see guys, ang aming topic for tonight, syempre, is all about handheld gaming. Nako, napakatagal na namin gustong pag-usapan to. But of course, before natin talakayan ang aming topic for tonight, let's proceed by introducing our panel for this show. Unahin natin of course, representing New Jersey, Banyagang native Sir Joel.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are. This is the Pinoy Gamer Abroad of the Banyaga Native Facebook Gaming Channel, part of Pinoy Retro Gaming, saying hi to everybody.
Of course, the retro freak himself ng PRG. Let's get freaky with Sir Retro Freak, Sir Raymond.
Hello. Magandang gabi guys. What's up, what's up?
And of course, ang macho man ng Batangas, Sir Carlo. Andiyan lang yan. So he's still having some, I think he's having some technical difficulties with his internet, but that's fine. Pero let's introduce din ang ating mga guest co-panel for tonight. Representing PRGs. Nako, nandito si 1, 2, 3, and go!
Hello, good evening guys. Juan De Marcos po of 1, 2, 3, go.
And then of course si Sir Pao. Sir Pao, yes, ayan na siya. Sir Pao, ang aming maestro. Maestro Pao, representing PRG. And, oh my God, who is that? Who is that over there? Oh my God, nagbabalik. Tignan mo nga naman ang pagkakaroon, guys. For the first time in a long time, no? We are welcoming back one of the OG members ng podcast na ito. Si Sir Siebert is Retro Gamer. Yun o, nakamute pa si Sir, syempre. Nawawala ang nawawala namin ang kanyang audio. Andiyan lang yan.
Okay na?
Yeah.
Okay na.
Welcome back, Siebert.
Alright.
Gabing to guys, pero good evening. I'm happy to be here in front of you guys with all the panels. Thank you for having me.
Alright, so this is it, no? Ito na ang mga panel natin for this evening. So guys, welcome. And kamusta naman kayo mga Repa Peeps? Excited na ba kayo for our topic for tonight? Itong mga to, nung pinag-usapan namin ang topic for tonight, they are so beside themselves and they're throwing around ideas on how we're going to proceed with the show. There's so much to talk about that, guys, and we only got so little time. And, syempre, kamusta naman natin ang chatatat? How are you guys doing down there? So, si Sir Jason Santiago, first daw sa pila. Nasinundan naman ni Tog Mysterio. Hello po. And of course, si ating kapatid na si Shin Mamuchu, ang ating H artist ng PRG. And of course, si Sir Dan Dice. Alright. Now, before we proceed with the actual topic, let's go and talk about any gaming news out there. Mga kapatid, well, ang namamayagpag lately, as of today, guys, it was announced by Nintendo that by 2023, I believe, that they are closing the Nintendo eShop, especially for the 3DS and Wii. No?
Yeah.
So, hopefully it's not something like Sony na due to public outcry, babawiin din nila to eventually, no? But let's see, no? Let's see the future goes. It's still 2023. Malay nyo magbago ang ihip ng hangin. But, that being said, so anong magiging advice natin, Sir Joel, sa mga nag-download ng mga games through the eShop?
Well, as much as possible, if you have games na matagal mo nang tinitingnan at matagal mo nang balak bilhin, pero hindi mo lang talaga ginagawa dahil either hindi mo wala ka lang oras para laruin or walang masyadong time para magkaroon ng para i-download mismo dahil malaki-laki. I would suggest before 2023, before the store closes, bilhin mo na dahil once na magsarado yung shop, hindi mo na siya mabibili legitimately, you know.
Legitimately.
Yeah.
That's the term. Legitimately.
Legitimately.
You can go to the black market of, of video games for that one. So thank you guys. Thank you, Sir Joel, for that. Now, let's go with our topic for tonight, which is handheld gaming. No? And thank you for Sir Ray for providing us with a thumbnail for our show for tonight. So, matanong ko ang panel. So, let's start with ano ang mga earliest memories ninyo pagdating sa handheld gaming? Nung mga bata-bata pa kayo. And of course, kayo dyan sa chat, tell us din yung inyong mga earliest memories of your handheld gaming experience. So, let's start. Siyempre, unahin natin. How about, let's start with Sir Joel kasi ang dami nito eh.
Naku, Diyos mio. In terms of memory, let's see. Some of my earliest handheld gaming memories is yung mga panahon ng grade school ako. Dahil nung grade school ako, namayagpag yung Game and Watch systems. So, during the time, I'm not sure if anybody here remembers the Game and Watch systems. Naging very popular siya nung panahon ko ron ng grade school ako. Everybody had one Game and Watch at least. Yung Game and Watch ko dati was Parachute. And nagkaroon kami na parang underground economy ng grade school kami na if you had a Game and Watch, obligated ka na dalhin sa eskwelahan, sa grade school, at makipag-trade doon sa mga kasamahan mo during recess and lunchtime. And may usapan kayo, o sige, akin yung parachute, nasa kanya yung octopus. Papalit kami for mga 30 minutes at a time. So makakalaro yung kaibigan ko ng parachute ko, malalaro ko yung octopus niya. And after that 30 minutes, mag-switch naman kung sino man ang meron. At the end of of recess or lunchtime, magbabalikan, gano'n. And it kept going throughout the whole week. As in, malalaro mo lahat ng mga Game and Watch ng mga kaibigan mo in grade school dahil it's like it was a very nice form of share and share alike. Yun yung earliest memory ko sa gaming handhelds ko.
Alright, so sabi daw ni Sir Joel, ang pinaka-earliest daw ang Game and Watch games. And I think we can all relate no? How about si Sir Juan De Marcos? Meron ka rin bang mga somewhat related Game and Watch games dyan? Or later pa?
Actually ako in handheld games dati is hindi ako nakapaglaro ng Game Boy or Game and Watch. Yung naalala ko is yung Tiger Electronic handheld.
Yung Tiger.
Ang dami nun. Yung meron nga Street Fighter eh. Pero 2 characters lang.
Yung naalala ko rin yung mga actually sa dami correct me if I'm wrong, Sir Joel, because I remember at the time nung mga ganyan, regardless of Game and Watch, I think yung Tiger Electronic we don't know any better. I think we still called sa Pilipinas guys we still called it as Game and Watch. But we didn't know it was made by Tiger. No?
Because the Game and Watch itself is actually a brand exclusive to Nintendo.
For Nintendo.
So, kapag sinabi mong Game and Watch, if you're speaking officially, Nintendo handheld talaga yun. Pero there were a lot of other companies that were making handhelds, like Tiger Electronics, and I think Mattel actually came out with a set of handhelds then during that time. But yeah, kung ano-ano mga handhelds din dating lumalabas ng grade school ako, but they were all referred to sa Pilipinas as Game and Watch handhelds. Yeah,
right.
As we can see in the in the large panel right now, For those of you who are on the audio portion of the podcast, we are showing footage of Game and Watch systems. So it really is to your advantage next time if you guys want to see some really good stuff, check out the live and the video production of Timeless Gamer for next time.
All right. How about si Sir Pau? Any earliest memories ng inyong handheld gaming?
Okay, so for me, mm, I would say na even though I haven't owned any handheld consoles ever in my life, as in never ako nagkaroon ng sarili kong handheld consoles, naranasan ko naman na laging makihiram sa tito, sa mga pinsan, kung kani-kanino pa mga kalaro. And the very first one that I had ever played happens to be Sega Game Gear. So sabi yata dyan sa baba, Tribong Game Gear. Yep, I belong to Tribong Game Gear.
Tribong Game Gear.
Yes. I first played, if I remember it right, Alien 3. The game is called Alien 3, then Aerial Assault. Before ako nakaranas na makapaglaro ng Game Boy ng mga years after that.
All right. And speaking of Game Gear, noong mga panahon na yun, guys, back in the 90s, whether it's Sega and Nintendo, whether you're a Game Boy fanboy or a Game Gear bitch. No, so they speak, laban-laban lang yan. But sa Pilipinas, it was never really a contest. Mostly kasi Game Boy ang Pilipinas eh. But back in the 90s, especially in the US, talagang labanan ng Game Gear at ang Game Boy. And speaking of Game Gear, how about si Sir Siebert? Earliest kamusta ang ano?
Sega boy!
Sega boy! Sega boy! Sega! Alright, si Sir Siebert. And earliest memories ng iyong handheld gaming?
Ako wala. Pero I have to be honest, kasi nung bata ako, meron akong, hindi ko nga alam Tiger Electronics pala yan, Sir Joel. Thank you for bringing that up, na Tiger Electronics yung Game and Watch. So, now I know. So, I used to have one, Pop Eye.
Pop Eye talaga ang tawag mo, Pop Eye.
Pop Eye, Pop Eye.
Talagang
Pop Eye.
Pop Eye.
Pop Eye.
Pero,
Oh,
other than
guys, say it right. It's Pop Eye.
Yes.
Nakakatuwa
Kamusta?
yung mga iba.
Search yan,
May tribong brick game, may tribong
Jen
PSP.
Mamochuelo. Anyway, siguro ang isa sa mga handheld ko na talagang na-treasure ko nung kabataan ako, yung, alam mo yung mga 900 in 1, mga 300 in 1, 20 in 1 na
Yes.
Tetris.
Brick games.
Brick
Yes.
game, yeah.
The brick games.
Sorry. Yes. So, naging, I believe it's around 90s, 95. Kasi kung meron kang Game Boy dati, or mas lalo na Game Gear, sobrang rich kid ka eh. So, yun lang na-afford namin at that time. So, I was back in grade school. So, I had fun. Well, I had fun fooling myself na 900 in one iba-iba sila. Inisa-isa ko talaga yun, pero in the end, yun lang din yung big game lang din.
O nga no, iba't ibang klaseng variant lang ng brick game, yung 900 naman na yung leche. Alright, how about si Sir Ray? Kamusta naman ang inyong, ito alam ko marami rin tong experience eh. Your earliest handheld experience, Sir Ray?
Earliest, if you remember yung submarine. Submarine
Which
game, the yellow one.
Sa ano yun, Sir Joel? Game & Watch yata.
Game and
Game
Watch.
and Watch din.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Huh. I don't think I ever
So,
saw that one.
you got submarine tapos biglang it's either may kalaban ka under the sea or meron ka kalaban sa itaas. So, you're shooting up missiles upward or torpedoes.
Yan. Tapos,
I remember
Star
that.
Wars Empire Strikes Back na Game and Watch.
Okay.
You remember that one?
I think I remember that one, yeah.
Ayan. Yun sa Game and Watch. Sa handhelds, nakwento ko na to yung yung my first ever handheld console is the Game Boy Pocket na may pa yan, may storya pa yan ng ang storya ng bato. So, iano ko na lang, sabihin ko na lang later. So, yun nga.
Story ng bato.
Oo.
Ano ba yung hinahanap ko yan?
Mali
Iba yung,
pala,
iba yung,
alamat ng
iba yung
bato. Ang
alamat ng bato.
Yun, ang alamat ng
Ah,
bato.
search ko yan, iba yung lumalabas sa, iba yung lumalabas sa Google eh.
So, yung
Naka-on
alamat
ba
ng
yung
bato.
ano? Naka-on ba yung
So,
safe search mo? Ano?
Ah. Basta yun, yan yun. My first ever are, yan, yung Game & Watch na Submarine and Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. And then, my first ever Game Boy is not the Game Boy DMG, but the Game Boy Pocket. So, yun.
Alright.
Wala akong game, pero nakikilaro ako ng Game Gear before, na si Sir Seabert, alam ko meron.
Alright. And I believe yung nga pala, before we proceed further, magbigay pugay tayo sa mga bagong dating. Ang dami nyo kaagad dyan. Thank you so much guys for being here. Kay Kim Azrael, kay Sir Mafty Nabius Slicky, Mark Louis Carpio, Sir, ang aming head honcho ng PRG, si Sir Bel Valenzuela, Team Game Boy DMG.
Let's go.
Represent si Tog Mysterio, si Jason Santiago of course, and dyan din si Sir Pascal Cote. Thank you Sir Pascal for being for joining the discussion. Kate Factor, is it Kate Factor or Kate Factor? Oh my God, there's so many of you guys. I hope I'm not missing anyone. Oh, Sherwin Barbadillo Misa is here as well. Was that a question from her or
Ano lang,
Ayan.
parang
was
ano
just a
lang
comment?
siya.
Sabi ni Miss Sherwin,
May classmate
sir.
akong may Game Boy SP, wala akong handheld. Tapos nagpapapiso game over siya. Every Friday, may ako client niya. At natapos
Alright.
ko yung principal siya. Ayos ah.
And Sir Noel Taiko also is here with a comment down there. It says, as a kid of the 90s, it's funny na first handheld na I owned is a PSP. Hiram lang ako ng Game & Watch, Game Boy, Game Gear, even yung bootleg na brick game nanghiram lang ako. Actually guys, who would know na bootleg lang yung mga brick games natin? I mean back in the day, we didn't even care. Basta't brick game eh, no? Malay ba natin kung Orig or Japix ba?
Basta may by brick game ka, okay lang yan.
Okay na yan.
Doesn't matter
Okay
eh.
na.
Yeah.
And isa sa mga Backstreet Boys ng PRG, Tres Natad is also here. And si Nikolai Wistanley, nakikilaro din ako ng Game Boy Advance SP sa classmate ko noong grade 2, Pokemon Red. Okay, nako yung mga Pokemons dito, mga Pokeboys and mga Pokegirls. mga Poke natin ilang lahat. Alright. Yung sa akin naman, my earliest gaming handheld experience would be, guys, I know mga batang 90s, you know this. Alam niyo yung kapag may piyesta tayo kadalasan, and then yung mga mga detulak, tapos merong nakasabit lahat doon, lahat ng mga Game & Watch niya. Minsan may Game Boy, minsan may palabunutan, minsan mayroong mga sisiu na kapag nabunot mo at nilagay mo sa tubig, papakita yung ewan ko, sabon ba yun? Kapag
Pipitikin mo yung
yes,
pipitikin mo yung papel.
pipitikin mo yung papel
Titignan
para
mo.
lang makita mo, itatapat mo sa araw kapag diba tataya ka kung star, circle, or triangle. Kapag tumama ang taya mo, meron kang libreng sisiu. Something like that. Diba meron mga ganun guys? And kung hindi ako sumasali sa palabunutan na yon, I go straight to those mga handheld games na yon. And most likely mga Tiger games yung mga karamihan nandun. Naabutan ko rin yung Popeye, naabutan ko rin yung Submarine, nakailang oras ako doon. Every once in a while merong Game Boy. My first experience with the Game Boy, yung sa mga ditulak din na yun. But I think mas mahal lang mas mahal lang singil nila for the Game Boy kumpara doon naman sa sa mga Tiger handhelds. And back in the mid 90s nung sumiklabang pauso ng Tamagotchi. It's still a handheld, guys. Tamagotchi is still a handheld. Sikat din ng mga Tamagotchi. Sir Pao, Tamagotchi. Experience mo Tamagotchi? Nakamute si Sir Pao. Tamagotchi, Sir Pao.
Hindi ko na-experience yung Tamagotchi eh. Ano nga bang tawag yung nasa yung may tubig tapos may rings na maliliit, sinushoot sa
Meron yun. Ano bang tawag doon? Did I forget? Siyempre, yung mga Viewmasters, but I'm not sure if you're going to call that as a handheld. Yung mga Viewmasters. Di ko nga alam na Viewmaster ang tawag doon eh.
Yung sinasabi ni Sir Pao na water game, Waterfalls yata yung tawag doon eh.
Waterfalls.
Mo, yung mga rings kailangan
May mga rings. Dapat
yeah.
shoot doon sa mga pillars ba?
Oh,
Mga
yeah.
tutusok.
That's it.
Sir Ray, nakailang Tamagotchi ka nun? How about si Sir Ray? Nakailang Tamagotchi ka nun, Sir Ray?
I think, 3
O
yata.
ilang patay?
Tatlong
Ilang-
Tamagotchi yun, nagpabili pa yung nanay ko from Japan kasi may student siya na uuwi ng Japan yung nanay. So dahil uso ang Tamagotchi no, nagpabili kami. So yun, nakatatlo rin na yata ako nun, 3 Tamagotchi game yata. So yun.
How about you, Sir Siebert? Tamagotchi, nakailang alaga ka?
Wala eh. never
Seryoso?
had one. Pero nakalaro na rin ako. So, hindi ko ma-appreciate yung mamamatay rin naman siya eh. Pwede ba naman ulitin? Pero it's a good pastime. So,
It's a good pastime.
Sa mga newer generation may not appreciate it. Pero dati kasi, simple lang mga games natin pero yung minds natin medyo...
How about have you encountered yung Digimaster, Digivice na it's parang Tamagotchi, Sir Joe? Naka-encounter kayo nun?
parang
Digivice?
Oo, Digivice siya na aalagaan mo yung Digimon doon and then you
Right.
yan. Parang
What year that came out? Late 90s na ba yan? Or early 2000s?
Yung lumabas na rin ng Digimon. Right?
I'm guessing mga late 90s.
Wait.
Kasi I remember when Pokemon hit back in 98, it's all about Pokemon talaga eh. But in regarding with Digimon, I think they were trying to build up their brand na they released those games din. I'm most likely I'm guessing mga early 2000s nung nilabas nila yan. How about si Sir Joel? Tamagotchi?
Tamagotchi, I sad to say I was not really familiar with Tamagotchis ng mga panahon na yun dahil hindi siya affordable para sa akin ng mga panahon na yun. It was like one of those things na like Siebert says, mamamatay din yan eh. and ang opinion ng mga parents ko during the time was parang there's better things you can spend the money on. If you want something na mas magtatagal yung laro mo, kukunin na lang natin yung Game and Watch na nga talaga or yung something else. So I never really got the chance to try it, pero recently nagkaroon sila ng mga reissues ng mga Tamagotchis and I got to play it. It was entertaining enough actually. Ang masama lang nga yung the fact na namamatay nga siya, hindi nasiyahan si Alexandria, my daughter. She hated the fact na her first Tamagotchi just died right off the bat. I think it took her mga 4 or 5 days before it just namatay na agad and sumama yung loob niya. Sabi niya noon, she'll never touch Tamagotchi ever again.
Nakaka-trauma talaga ang Tamagotchi, guys. Back in the early 90s, no? How about si Sir JDM? How about any Tamagotchi PTSD?
Ako, meron akong hindi naman PTSD, like personal experience lang. Dati kasi binilhan kami ng ate ko, matigis sa kaming Tamagotchi. Tapos ang nangyari, basta mga weekends Ang aga kong gumising para magpakain, para mag-gear sa Tamagotchi. Tapos nakita ako ng mama ko, sabi, "Oh, alas 5 pa, bakit nang aga-aga mong gumising?" Tapos pagka may klase, lagi kang late.
Dala-dala mo no?
Oo.
Yeah.
Nagalitan ako.
Pero but it does teach children some responsibility on taking care of something, even if it's virtual. No, it does teach you how to take care of something, no. And back in the day, yung mga Tamagotchi na yun is parang kapag namatay ang Tamagotchi, I think X lang ang mata na nagsasabing patay na siya, and that alone is parang nakaka-trauma na rin kung bata ka. I think yung mga Tamagotchi ngayon mas graphic pa nga yung yung itsura nila pagpatay. Ayoko naman ng ganun, kaya well, sa mga nakakaranas ng Tamagotchi noon, it's a good experience din, no? How about, ano naman yung mga favorite, there's so many handheld games, sa totoo lang guys, all throughout the history of video games. So, rather than saying all of the games, no, we're going to talk about our favorite handheld games regardless of the system, no? So how about we start with Sir Pao? Sir Pao, you mentioned na wala kang device, that's fine, but ano yung mga handheld games na nalaro na talagang made a significant impact on your gaming experience?
Sige, Sir Pao, ipaalam mo sa amin kung ano ang mga pinakahilig mong karanasan.
Karanasan ba?
Karanasan.
Ang lalim, karanasan. Okay,
Oo.
sige. Okay.
Para mahaba yan.
Kwentong si Rex.
My very best handheld game would be Super Mario Land for the Game Boy.
Nice.
Super Mario Land.
Super
That's
Mario
good.
Land na I think 10 times ko na natapos ever in my life.
Super Mario Land.
Alright.
Super Mario Land. Then
That's called
yung isa
dedication
pa-
right there.
Yeah, that's dedication. And then the second one would be the Game Boy version of the Nintendo's Tetris.
Okay.
As
Classic.
in yung talagang OG Tetris by Nintendo.
Yeah, yung OG Tetris by
The OG
Nintendo.
Alright.
Na-port din sa Game Boy. Since nasa Game Boy version yung pinaka-favorite soundtrack ko ng Tetris. Wala siya doon sa NES, dyan sa Game Boy lang.
Right. Alright. Anything else, Sir Pao?
Na,
So, Super Mario Land and the OG Tetris.
OG
Right.
Tetris.
Alright. Thank you for that, Sir Pao. How about si Sir JDM? Ano ang pinaka-memorable na handheld games na nalaro mo na talaga, regardless of system? Yan, nakamute yata si Sir JDM. Yan. Alright.
Ay, sorry. Maraming handheld games akong nagustuhan eh. Pero ito, isa to. Final Fantasy Tactics A2.
Oh, nice. Alright.
Yan.
For the DS.
Tsaka yung nito, yung prequel, yung niya, first game, yung Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Yan. Grabe, talaga nagbuno ako ng dito, ng oras. Kahit naalala ko, parang algebra, yata, exam namin next day. Naglaro pa ako bago ako nag-aaral. Tapos, syempre, Pokemon, since I'm a Pokemon fan, Pokemon Crystal.
Ooh, very good.
Yan. Sa Game Boy Color. Yan.
Pokemon Crystal.
Yes.
Baka sa lahat ng Pokemon, Sir JDM, Crystal ang talagang numayagpag sa'yo.
Yun. Kasi, actually, yung Pokemon, yung red, green, yellow. Pero mas kasi, yung Pokemon Crystal, ano ba yun, yung mga niya, silver and gold. Nandun din kasi yung ano, yung Johto region. So yung mga Pokemon sa first gen nandun din siya sa Crystal.
Right. So parang isa na lang.
Oo.
Kasi I remember the primary games, the red, blue, green, and yellow. Parang they had their own exclusive Pokemons
Mm.
na wala sa iba sa ibang games. But I think Crystal is one of those games na parang all-in-one na.
Hindi naman, you need to ano pa rin, yung trade
Ito trade
from
in.
I mean from gold to silver, tapos yung mga exclusives from silver or sa gold. Para makuha mo lahat is trade pa rin.
They
Trade
still
pa
have
rin.
exclusives naman eh, lalo na sa
Mm.
Pokemon na game. So hindi lang
Oh.
pwedeng isang cartridge lang yung magagamit mo for to complete all the Pokemons before. So yun.
It was very smart din ng Nintendo no? No, parang, sige, para mas makarami tayo ng benta, exclusivity. No? How about si Sir Siebert? Sir Siebert, ano ang mga handheld games na talaga na mayagpag sa iyo?
Ako, when I started collecting talaga, I'm into survival horror eh. So, I have games, kaya ako bumili ng PSP dati. It's because of this game, Silent Hill.
Silent Hell,
Mhm.
PSP.
Silent Hill, yes.
Ano yan? Parang ano yan? Yan ba yung port ng PS1 or that's another story?
The PS2 version, yes, it's the same. So, medyo, ano lang siya, handheld version pa. Pero if you play the PS2 version, it's the same as the PSP version. So, ano rin, nostalgic rin sa akin ang Game Gear. Kasi, alam mo yung kabataan natin na like Sonic and all that. So, medyo impacting sa akin yung mga yan. So, lately ko lang na-realize na, uy, I need to have this. Yung mga games before na hindi ko nakuha dati. Pero when I initially started collecting, I was just into survival horror talaga. So I'm aiming for games like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, and all that. So the reason why I bought a PSP is because of that reason. So there are several games like Silent Hill, Manhunt. So I actually have the pleasure of playing these types of games. Eh. So yun lang.
Manhunt.
So,
So that's the
hindi mo-
so that's the PSP port ng original Manhunt sa PS2.
and it's the same. So kasi
Still the same.
if you play Sega Genesis, so most of the games from Game Gear merong port
Pa rin.
sa Genesis. So, but then again, if you have the Genesis, doesn't necessarily mean na hindi ka nakukuha ng Game Gear. Kasi iba yung gameplay nung sa Game Gear as compared sa Genesis. So,
Right.
if you buy Genesis and if you think na you already played it, no, it's different. The Sega Game Gear port nung game is different from Sega Genesis.
All right. Thank you for that, Sir Siebert. So, you got it there. Silent Hill and Manhunt sa PSP, representing the PSP, Sony's first handheld gaming device. Very successful, by the way. And how about you, Sir Joel? Dami rin ito eh. But we can only limit a few. Oh, tabi-tabi guys, tabi-tabi. Ito na. Sir Joel, your handheld games from the very start.
From the very start. Oh my
Bow
gosh.
down.
Sige. Very quick rundown. Um, well, like I said, isa sa mga pinakaumpisang karanasan ko, like I said, my experiences when it came to handheld games started with the Game and Watch. So, I don't have my original Game and Watches anymore dahil nung nagpunta ako dito sa US from Pinas kinailangan ko ng ibenta or ipamigay lahat ng mga stuff ko. So, all I can show is yung mga replicas or yung mga remakes na lang. So, first is Game and Watch Ball. I never had this, pero reportedly this was one of the very first Game and Watches that was available in production. So Game and Watch Ball, very simple gameplay. You just keep balls up in the air using these little sticks. Um, and ang pinaka apu-apuhan na niya ngayon is yung re-release niya, which is the Game and Watch color screen with Super Mario Brothers. I think I have the I think I have the Game and Watch with Legend of Zelda here somewhere stashed away. Pero dahil
Actually,
nga sa...
dalawa binili ni Tito Joel diyan. Pagdating niya
Yeah,
ng
that's true.
Pilipinas, bibigay niya sa
Mm-mm.
akin.
Ipapadala sa Pilipinas yung isa
Hindi,
sa
di pa
certain
uuwi ka. So,
to,
yun
yeah,
na.
to a certain Mr. Orendes. I have to find out who this Mr. Orendes is in. And then let's see. It continued with oh, here it is. Yung isa sa mga naranasan ko, sandali lang kasi I never actually owned it. Pero yung pinsan ko meron. Sabi kagaya ng karanasan ni ni Sir Pau, wala akong personal na Game Boy dati pero nanghihiram ako. So, kinuha ko na lang siya rito uli sa US when I found it ron sa mga game conventions. The original Game Boy, uh, nakaswerte ako, complete in box. So, nag-ano ako noon, namili ako ng Game Boy na colored. I played like I think it was Sir Pa who said Super Mario Land. That was a lot of fun because of the fact na nga na it was basically Super Mario Brothers in pocket form. You have no idea how amazing the experience is na yung game na nalalaro mo sa Nintendo 8-bit, yung Famicom, ngayon malalaro mo na while you're traveling around, while you're moving around. Okay, let's see what else. To Oh my gosh, let's see. To follow up on kay Siebert naman, I did try the Sega Game Gear. So
Yeah!
yeah, Sega Game Gear. So I did try the Sega Game Gear. I completely agree with Siebert on the fact na nga na if you've played the Sega Genesis version of the game, you haven't experienced it completely unless you've tried the Game Gear version. The gameplay is a little different, but it still harkens back a lot to the actual Sega Genesis game. Marami siyang mga magagandang games na nandito rin sa... No, it's not a Steam Deck, Master J.
Ayun ka,
I wish it was a Steam Deck, you know. Pero yon, ang Game Gear naman na naranasan ko, pero caveat, kapag may Game Gear ka, kailangan marami kang dalang baterya na double A's palagi dahil ang lakas kumain ng baterya ang Sega Game Gear. Before you know it, naglalaro ka ng mga 1 or 2 hours, kailangan mo na nakawan yung mga baterya ng remote control mo sa television. Ganun, eh, no? Makikita na lang ng dad mo
Kaya
na, ba't
kailangan
di na umaandar yung baterya nito?
bibili ka ng Game Gear.
Mm-mm.
Kailangan meron kang yung battery, ay yung
Yeah.
charger.
Oo,
Something
yung
like that.
tawag doon, yung AC extension.
Adapter. Yeah, adapter.
Adapter.
Kasi
Pero,
sobrang
yun,
niyang kumain ng battery.
ang lakas niya kumain ng baterya. Pero kind of worthless din yung adapter dahil noong mga panahon na namayagpag yung Game Gear, namamayagpag din yung mga brownouts, yung mga 6-hour brownouts dati sa Pilipinas. So, nung isang malaking bagay, kapag may Game Gear ka, is meron ka ring TV adapter. Dahil yung mga panahon na yun, pwede mong kabitan ng adapter yung Game Gear at manood ka ng mga television, yung mga John and Marcia, yung mga Kwarta o Kahon, gano'n, pwede mong panoorin sa iyong Game Gear. Shout out kay Mr. Juan
Okay,
de
panahon
Marcos.
mo yan, Tito Joel.
Ayun,
That's
mga
your
kapanahonan ko.
Okay.
Yung mga panahon ni na Ariel Ureta, yung mga gano'n.
Ayan.
All right. Now, the next thing on the list is, oh my gosh, where the heck did that go? A little, again, kay Siebert, is the Sega Nomad naman. The Sega Nomad naman is basically a portable Sega Genesis that you can carry around. Again, ang kailangan mong gawin dito is isaksak yung mga cartridge mo dito. And nalaro ko rito yung Phantasy Star series na favorite ko. Talagang mahilig ako doon. Okay, let's see. The next one.
So guys, ito ang show and tell ni Tito Joel sa
Ito na po yun. Eto na po yun.
Pause muna tayo sandali.
Tito Joel, ano pa, go.
Pause muna tayo sandali. Let's acknowledge muna the people and the chats dahil medyo the chats are coming in hard and fast. We
Sabi ni
just want to say
Mamo Chuyes, yung TV para sa Game Gear, sakit sa ulo sa reception. Panahon pa rin
yeah.
ito, Mamo Chu, no? Okay, game.
That's true. So let's pause the muna dito if you guys want to, let's continue with a little bit of the chats because we want to make sure that everybody in the chats is properly acknowledged, and we just want to say thank you to everybody. Maraming salamat sa mga dumadaan ngayon. Napakabait niyo na nandito kayo at sinasamahan niyo kami sa aming podcast Timeless Gamer.
Alright, bigay-pugay po kay Sir Jansen, kay Sir Derek Ponay, kay Master Jeremiah dyan, kay Sir Mark Louis Carpio, dyan pa rin si Sir Gami Tagle. Kay Marlon Hurtado, of course, nandiyan din. Si Sir Emerson, nandiyan na rin sa ating chat. Si Sir Jeps. Sir Jeps, Sir Dalia. Oy, guys, Pinoy Retro Burger.
Yes. Pinoy Retro
Pangkalikan
Burger, the
natin.
tastiest burger you'll ever have.
Yes. Um, sa mga Oy guys, if you got any other experience or questions regarding handheld games sa ating panel, don't be shy to ask them away dyan sa chat. And si Sir Eric Sabs, thank you so much sir for being here. Sir Joel, as you were saying. Ayan na.
Okay, sige. Pagpasensyahan niyo na that there seems to be an echo in my in my headset. For the people who are mentioning it, I apologize dahil hindi ako masyadong magaling sa mga sounds and everything. I
Bago
always say
lang
sa
yung
mga
headset
streams
ni
ko,
Tito Joel, pagpasensyahan niyo na
I
dyan.
always say sa mga streams ko na hindi ko talaga naririnig yung sarili ko when it comes to saying stuff. So, lagi akong nanghihingi ng tulong sa mga viewers ko na pakisabi sa akin kung yung sound volumes ko is alright na. Ngayon, the echo seems to be really, really high right now. So I apologize to everybody. I'm very, very sorry. And I'll see if I can adjust it as I go. All right. So pagpasensyahan na lang. I apologize to everybody on that one. But yes, saan ba ako nag-leave off, Raymond?
Kay
Nomad.
Shane Namad.
On the Sega
Nomad.
Nomad. Okay. Isa sa mga, ayan, I just adjusted it downwards a little bit, pagpasensyahan na. Isa sa mga forays ko naman sa handhelds is the Atari Lynx.
Diyos ko,
Ayan.
day. Lahat na yata
Guys,
meron.
nakikita niyo na kung gaano karami yung handheld consoles ni Tito Joel.
Ito.
This is his show actually.
No, it's not. Come on, you guys.
Tito Joel, siya yung nanglalason sa akin every time na may mga Ambernet, Pau Kiddy. Yan, siya yung nagbibigay sa akin ng link. Ako naman, titingin muna, nag-iisip. Ayun, nasa cart lang.
And
To all of you guys who are not watching us live, Sir Joel is showing us all of his collection ng kanyang mga handheld devices. No? So, Atari Lynx, oh my God. No, between a Game Gear and Nomad and Lynx, how much is that? Kung hahanapin ng mga gamers ngayon, Sir Joel, how much is
I would
that?
say, I don't really know what the market price of this is right now. It's fairly cheap actually because of the fact that it's not so rare. The Atari Lynx is not as rare as the TurboGrafx Express. Merong tinatawag na TurboGrafx Express, which is the portable handheld version of the PC Engine, the
The PC
TurboGrafx
Engine.
16. Yun yung white whale ko. Yun yung sinasabi ko na bagay na lagi ko nakikita sa mga conventions natin na hindi ko
Deadma.
binili because of the fact that it was $200 during the time. Juan Carlo Autor says, Tito Joel, paampon
Paampo.
mo. Okay. yung PC Engine Express, yun yung talagang I wish na binili ko dati dahil $200 lang siya. Pero recently, dahil nga hindi ko ma-afford, nang tinignan ko yung market price niya, it's close to $1,000 na ngayon. I can't, yung dating hindi ko maabot, mas lalong hindi ko na naabot dati. So, yun yung relatively less well-known sa Pilipinas na mga handhelds ko. Actually, that's the bad thing. With the Lynx, nagkadalawa ako ng bili dati. Hindi
Diyos
ko
ko,
alam
dalawa
na
pa.
meron na pala ako dati.
Okay, Tito Joel,
Dalawa pa
kasama na
talaga.
Game and Watch. Pakidalawa yan ha. Dito.
Ayun,
Ay,
yung si Mr. Orendes na yun, medyo napaparating lang ang iuwi para sa kanya.
Parang ang dami nang ibibigay sa akin ni Tito Joel.
All right, now, getting
Tuwa ako
back
sa'yo,
to the
Tito Joel.
getting back to the getting back to the more familiar there is the Game Boy Color para sa ating mga kasamahan
GBC.
dito na mas familiar sa mga Pokemon games. The Game Boy Color. I think I saw somebody mention, I think it was Nikolai Stanley, that one of his good memories was the Game Boy Color na transparent. It could have been Nikolai Stanley. I could be wrong on that one, or was it Eric Sabs? I apologize for not remembering, pero nakita ko mabilisan na umakyat yung yung pangalan. Isa sa mga memories nila was yung transparent na. I actually had that one, the purple one, the transparent one, and I wish I had it, pero I still had it. Pero like I said, nung lumuwas ako papuntang abroad, kinailangan ko nang ipamigay. Ayan, Nikolai Stanley says, I miss my GBC transparent. There you go. Let's see. Handheld Save by Tito Joel ata ito, as Ayan Bitangkol says. Actually, yun na nga, nahihiya na ako kasi uh, I want to give way to everybody else who's here. And if anybody else wants to continue with the conversation, please do. Dahil meron pa ako rito mga ibang bagay. I can continue that a little later if you guys want.
In speaking of something for show and tell, alam ko itong si Sir Siebert, guys, kung sa mga nakakapanood ng show namin dati, meron siyang pinakita noon na mod niya na Game Gear. I'm not sure kung nasa kanya pa rin or binenta na niya. Mapapakita ba ni Sir Siebert?
I have the
Wow.
okay.
Oh.
There you go. Nice.
Just
From Sonic Tales variant na mod niya ng Sega Game Gear. Can you tell us kung paano mo yan na score, Sir Siebert?
actually I do buy and sell din. So dumating lang yung point na I do buy and sell PS1, PS2, PS3. Kasi pag tinitingnan ko sila, parang this is just personally for me kasi parang magkakaitsura lang sila eh. So I just thought maybe since it's my hobby of actually collecting games at the same time selling some of them, so might as well change the look. So I tried. I actually learned through YouTube on how to pinagtagpi-tagpi ko lang siya. So yeah, that's the reason for that. So I'm not talaga contented with just the normal look of the Game Gear. So I tried to learn on my own how to mod it. So I came up with this. There are two versions actually. This is mine.
Diyos ko, day. Dalawa rin.
So
Oy, pero sa totoo lang ladies and gentlemen. So,
Kaya yung customize na yan.
etong pinapakita ni Sir Siebert, if you guys are watching us live, so he's showing us his personal modification of the Game Gear Tales ng Sonic franchise, no? If you're going to look at his work, para mapag-iisipan nyo nga na it's an official, no, Sir Joel? It's an official product made and endorsed by Sega.
If you had not told me straight to my face, Siebert, na this is your personal work, I would have said that this looks like an official release by either Sega or by Nintendo. Personally speaking,
Anong say mo, Sir Pao, Sir JDM?
thank you guys.
Ang ganda. Kaya nga sabi ko nung nakita ko sa RGCP is talagang parang obra maestro.
By the way,
No?
si Sir Siebert pala, guys, baka nakakalimutan nyo, nagko-customize talaga siya ng mga ng consoles. Whether it's
That's my latest work.
handheld
And I never-
gaming or yung mga big bulky consoles, yan, nagpe-personalize yan si Sir Siebert.
And I never thought pwede mag-customize ng mga ganyan.
No? Guys, baka if sa mga nakikinig sa atin ngayon, if ever meron kayong mga personal request na gusto nyong i-personally modify ang mga consoles ninyo, hanapin nyo lang si Sir Siebert. Maybe he can hook you up. No?
This is going back to what Sir Joel mentioned kasi ang Game Gear sobrang grabe talaga kumain ng battery. So
Yes,
there
unfortunately.
are external third party na
Battery packs?
na binebenta. Like this used to be a ano tawag nito? External power bank
Yeah.
Yes.
na kinakabit sa Game Gear. At the same time, handy siya kasi meron siyang grip. Grip siya, power bank at the same time for the Game Gear. Kasi the Game Gear uses 6 batteries. So, yung batteries na lakas kumain siguro 6 hours stop or 5 hours lang. Continuous use, drained na siya. So, there are they're selling these external bats before. So, ang problema sa kanya, dahil sa katandaan na, kung may makita kayo nito, ang hirap na siya i-restore. So, kung magaling ka talaga mag-restore or techie ka, kung mapapagtsagaan mo. So, what I did is I just made use of yung skin para maging gift na lang siya. So, I added tails. So, tinakpan ko na yung mga yung mga cable. So, tinanggal ko na siya. So, para magmukha lang siyang
Ang
ref
tanong,
for the Game Gear.
ang ang tanong, ika nga ni Sir Carlo, turn it on. Turn it on. Kung gumagana ba talaga? baka no, baka ano
I'll
lang
get
yan
back
ah.
to that then, and then, kunin ko lang yung it
That's
works,
good.
of course. Pero, yeah.
Oh, sabi
Mamaya
daw ni Sir Eric,
parental,
bibili daw,
I'll-
sabi daw ni Sir Eric Sabs, bili daw siya ng Vita, papa-custom daw niya sa'yo. Oh.
There you go. Nice. Saying hi to Eric Subs right
This
there.
is my Vita.
Oh, ayo shit.
This is the
Yun ang
limited
Vita,
edition.
oh.
So, if you're familiar with Marco and Karma,
Marco
Slug.
and Karma.
ayan, ayan.
Metal Slug.
Metal
Ay, Metal
Slug.
Slug.
There you go. Yeah. All right.
Ah, shit.
Mm-mm-mm.
Eh, bakit
So,
pink?
Bakit pink? Kasi my daughter, ay,
Ah, alright. There you go.
Yes. There's explanation.
Maniwala pa ako kung army fatigue ang kulay. Tapos tapos yung dalawang yung silang dalawa nandiyan.
Puti kasi yung match eh. So, ay nag-iisip pa anong kulay ba pwede ko yung match sa puti. So, I just came up with the color. So, actually dati, kasi I had this game, it's a limited run game. I really liked it, Claire.
Claire.
So, I actually custom it to Claire. So, binago ko kasi hindi ko nagustuhan yung tsura. So, nakukulangan ako. So, inad ko si Tarma at saka si
Tarma.
Mark.
Marco.
Metal Slug. So, I'm
Nice.
still looking for the limited run release ng Metal Slug. So, sobrang expensive na siya nowadays. Pero I'm still looking forward for it.
Oh, we
yeah.
have
Para lang
a little bit of
makompleto yung look.
We have a little bit of a comment here from Jedis. Marlon Hurtado Eliscupides also says, pahingi ng page niya sa console customs. O yan, Siebert, you've got a few jobs lined up for you na.
Oh, may mga fans ka na diyan, Sir Siebert. Oh. Gusto daw maging tatay daw ni Sir J, si Siebert. And sabi daw ni Mark, Sir, smartphone, nagawa na po ba niyo magpa-custom? Oh. Smartphone.
PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, Sega Genesis, Sega CD, Sega Mega Drive. So in the future, if we had the chance, I'll show them all to you.
Ay,
ang dami kong
diba?
this is my recent one, the one I showed you a while ago.
Yes. For those of you in the audio podcast, Siebert is now showing his customized PlayStation 2, which features the Powerpuff Girls. For those of you who are Cartoon Network fanatics in the mga early 2000s, if I remember correctly, was that right, Juan de Marcos?
Yeah.
Including the city of Townsville.
Yes. Yung mga ganun
The
eh.
city of
Yes.
Townsville.
Yes.
All
Yun ang
right.
panahon na yun,
So,
eh, no?
I'll show you all the and you can follow me. I'll show you the link where you can check out all my work. So,
All right.
mahilig akong manira at mag-custom. So, this is how we learn eh. So, I remember when I first customized one of my PlayStation 1. Grabe, alam mo yung pagsusolder, inaral ko talaga yan thanks to YouTube. So, kailangan mo talagang manira muna bago mo matutunan. And I learned how to paint at the same time. So, if it's your passion, if you're into collecting, you want magagawa mo siya talaga.
All right. Thank you for that, Sir Siebert. No?
Sir Siebert, may tanong kasi dito, have you tried to customize sa smartphone na ba? Have you tried?
Smartphone daw.
Hindi pa.
Ay, hindi pa.
Hindi.
Console lang talaga.
Console lang.
Console lang.
Console lang.
Kasi normally yung mga kino-customize ko, I pair them with, like, this is a rare game. So, it's box CIB, complete in box.
Tales Adventure. Sega Game Gear.
Tales Adventure. This is a really, really rare game. So, when I got it, yun talaga yung unang pumasok sa utak ko, I need to customize this and pair it with my
Of course.
my Game Gear.
Tales Game Gear.
Yeah. So, if you see me customizing stuff like Powerpuff Girls, Resident Evil, I have them. And sa Super Famicom, ang dami kong mga kasi mura lang yung Famicom and madali lang siya i-handheld. So, if you guys seen that before, I did the kasi marami. So, maybe in the future, I'll just show it to you kung ano yung mga ginagawa ko at gagawin ko pa. So, I'm actually working on a Bart's Nightmare sa Super NES. So, hopefully matapos siya. Ang matagal lang naman dito yung paint talaga eh. So, it takes a
Pintahan.
month at least para mag-try out.
So, thank you for that, Sir Siebert. In regards naman sa akin, nung medyo nagkapera-pera na ako, of course, I never really had a good Game Boy game talaga, no? Maybe a few Pokemon games here and there, a few Mega Man games here and there, Mario, Dr. Mario, every now and then, but parang wala lang, no? During the 90s, mas okay pa rin sa akin ang console gaming rather than the handheld. Maybe because wala kaming pambili or talagang meron na may friend ako noon, but ewan ko, it's just something about the Game Boy screen. So dark green, ang hirap niyang tignan. Parang tiyaga-tiyaga lang talaga na well, this is the next best thing if you don't got your own Nintendo or you don't got your own Famicom, no? And no, medyo nagkapera-pera ako, napunta ako sa RGCP. I got a few, no? So I got my first 3DS. Ano lang siya, isang 3DS lang talaga siya, yung the original one. And then nakuha ko kay Sir Carlo na Game Boy Advance na minodify niya yung controller, yung button layout. Naka-green screen ako, guys, sorry. Kaya basta itong katawan niya, it's all green. Tapos pinalitan niya ng battery pack. No, instead of using batteries, you can use a like a 5-volt na charger. You can use this one, no? And I also got a Game Boy SP complete in box na-score ko rin sa RGCP. And then before I left Australia, na-score ko rin sa RGCP yung PS Vita ko. And then a couple of PSP games din. The blue one is the 2000 model and the 3000 model itong red. So, ngayon ko lang napansin, red and blue. Ngayon ko lang napansin na meron pala akong red and blue na PSP. And in regards naman sa mga games, I did mention not the original Game Boy, but what I played na talagang pagtalaga sa akin would be in the Game Boy Advance, really. Emulator nga lang, unfortunately. But the games were Golden Sun. It's a JRPG, exclusive for the Game Boy Advance. Golden Sun 1 and 2. And during the mid 2000s na nauso ang Yu-Gi-Oh, the big Yu-Gi-Oh craze. All of the Yu-Gi-Oh games ng Game Boy Advance, no? From the original anime and the World Championship series nilabas from the Game Boy Advance. Doon ako natutong maglaro ng Yu-Gi-Oh sa totoo lang by playing the early Game Boy Advance games. And then sa DS, the only games that talagang nilaro ko na talagang matino would be the Yu-Gi-Oh games pa rin sa DS. And then when the 3DS hit, medyo nawala yung love ko sa Yu-Gi-Oh kasi ang dami na niyang rules, wala na akong maintindihan after ng synchro rules, labo-labo na. Napunta naman ako sa Card Fight Vanguard sa 3DS na games. The first 3 released na Card Fight Vanguard games, kahit na Japanese, after watching the anime, after learning their effects, nung nilaro ko na siya in Japanese, parang alam ko na kung paano sila laruin after watching the anime. Parang I could care less kung hindi ko mabasa ang text dun sa mismong card. As long as I know how to summon, as long as I know how to defend, I'm good. As long as I know their effects, I'm good. Ang problema na lang kapag taliwas na sa anime yung ginagamit kong card, pupunta pa ako sa Google para okay, ano ba to? Doon na ako magka-translate. No? So, those are the games for me. No? So, Golden Sun for the Game Boy Advance and the Yu-Gi-Oh games na lumabas for the Advance and DS. Those are just for me. Let's...
I'm actually taking Joe's advice to learn Yu-Gi-Oh through the Game Boy Advance games, and I'm going to try them out sometime soon. Sige, Joe, continue.
Oh, speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh games, can we announce it? No, the PRG will be holding a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament this coming March. Tama ba, Sir Ray?
Yeah.
So,
Ano lang, details na lang. Nahantayin na lang natin yung details. Tapos after that, ilalabas na namin sa page. So, standby kayo dyan.
alright. So, mga Yu-Gi-Oh fans dyan out there, no? And we will proceed now sa ating a few questions that we prepared for everyone.
Yeah, I'll just save the rest of yung mga ipapakita ko for some
Ako,
other
tinahanap
episode
pa
na lang.
dito.
All right, sir. How about Sir Joel? Ano yung mga questions natin dyan in regarding with the handhelds?
Let's see. Let's have a quick look at the comments. Let's find out if anybody has any questions. But first things first, let's acknowledge Mr. or Miss Barunari. If anybody
Baruna Royka.
Baruna Royka, yes, we'd like to acknowledge Baruna Royka for the comments. Saying
And Ayan
loving
Vitangkol.
memory of and Ayan Vitangkol of Dux Gaming of Pinoy Retro Gaming right there. Baruna Royka says, in loving memory of Cartoon Network. Yes, for those of you who are familiar with Cartoon Network, the golden age I consider of Cartoon Network is yung mga Ayan,
Yun
there
o.
you go.
Yun o.
Raymond.
Ayan o.
Actually,
Ayan o.
Nickelodeon boy ako eh.
Yeah,
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon boy ba si Raymond? Okay, there you go. So yung mga
Ano yan? Sina Hey Arnold pa yan. Tsaka sina Ren and Stimpy.
O kaya, Danny Phantom para sa iyo.
Danny-
Rugrats.
Mga Rugrats.
Yung mga ganun. Pero yun na nga, yung mga golden age ng Cartoon Network for me was Johnny Bravo,
Powerpuff Girls,
Billy
Dexter's
Mandy.
Lab.
Yes, Dexter's Lab, yung mga ganun.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
And there you go. We also have greetings from Eson Javier, and let's see a few more people right here. Nicola Stanley, I think we already said hi, and a lot more people. Honestly, we are just so happy that there's so many
Cow and Chicken. Yes,
interactions.
tama.
Cow and Chicken.
Sir Jerome, thank you. Sir Jerome
A lot of
San Diego.
We also have a good evening from Jerome San Diego. Hello, Jerome. It's nice to see you, and I'm happy that you're here. We're very happy that everybody's interacting in the chats. All right, so yes, Sir Pao, continue.
Well, I just noticed Sir Siebert showing that it's working.
Yes,
Working
yes,
yung
he's
Game
showing
Gear.
his Game Gear, and it is fully working. The
Tails.
screen is nice and bright. Let's see, the buttons are.
Alam mo, I just want to
shiny.
share, guys. The bad thing about Game Gear, it's the yung LCD niya. So there are mods to actually bright yung mga retro mods that cost around 5,000. So if you're into Game Gear, some of them do it. So yun yung downside niya. Pero one of the good thing about it is you can put an external adapter if you don't want to use
That's it.
battery to it. So it works. Oh, Sergio, ayan na.
Oo nga eh. Okay na. Have I ever doubted you before?
Proof of life.
Ayan. Sige, here. We have a few questions in preparation. Please, if anybody in the audience has questions for our panelists, please put them in the chats. We will do our very best to answer them or to react to them, however it is. Our first question comes from me, actually. Do you think handheld games are inferior to console or PC games? First question. So, sa tingin ninyo ba, mas less ang quality ng handheld games compared to sa mga console or PC games? Let's start with Juan de Marcos.
Technically, parang inferior yung yung handheld games compared sa yung actual
In terms of
console.
hardware.
Oh, in terms of hardware. Pero para sa akin kasi mas portable siya. So pwede mo siyang dalhin kahit kahit saan.
Yeah.
Tsaka yung ano naman yung mga depende din naman sa genre ng nilalaro mo like games. May mga magagandang games na nasa ano lang, handheld lang.
That's true.
Like Pokemon, 'di ba?
Mhm.
That's true.
So I don't consider handheld games are inferior.
It depends on the gamer, no?
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, that's
thank you for that, Sir JDM.
quite true. All right, let's proceed with Raymond. I want to hear Raymond's opinion on this. Oh, Raymond,
Nakamute si, sorry.
you're on mute, Raymond.
Ayan. As
Ayan.
regards sa handheld games being inferior sa PC, I don't think I think, depende talaga sa gamer if whether if you want portability, sabi nga nila, and less, yung pwede mong madala saan-saan, you will choose talaga handheld gaming. Pero kung taong bahay ka or typically a PC gamer, magpi-PC ka talaga. Even sa mga console game consoles like PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, and even PS5 or yung mga Sega Saturn, yung ganun. It always depends on sa gamer kung anong platform niya o kung anong gaming console ang trip niya eh. Yun eh. So sa akin wala, okay lang kahit ano.
All right, so it's different for you. It's not inferior, iba siya. Kakaiba yung niya, yung dating niya compared sa mga consoles at saka mga PC games. All right, that's definitely a valid point of view. Sir Pao, what's your opinion on it? Despite the fact that you've never owned a handheld, you've played them, but then again, what's your opinion compared sa yung quality?
Quality. For me naman kasi walang pinagkaiba yung level of enjoyment na nakukuha mo for playing consoles as to playing handheld games. So if I am someone who enjoys playing in consoles and also enjoys playing in handheld games, then I don't see any difference at all, and I don't see anyone being superior or inferior to each other. So that's something na equal lang din para sa akin.
All right, that's good. That's good. To the panelists right here, feel free to jump in with your opinions. Don't wait to be called for your turn, or if you have an opinion on what the other panelist is saying or what somebody in the audience is saying, please speak up. All right, it's not. We're not in line here. We just want to enjoy ourselves. We want to enjoy the atmosphere right now. All right. So yes, Joe, you might. It looks like you want to say something.
Oh, in regards naman if whether it's a superior between console and handheld device, ito guys, naisip ko lang, and I'll just put it into perspective. No, Star Ocean came. The second Star Ocean game came out for the first first PlayStation, no, PS1, and hindi ko siya nalaro noon, no. When it first came out back in the late 90s, and nung nagkaroon ako ng PSP, that's the only time that I was able to play Star Ocean, the PSP e-boot, nilagay lang sa PSP, and I'm like, okay, so. And I played the game. I enjoyed it. Finished it. So kung either nilaro ko siya whether in a actual PlayStation 1 or sa isang TV screen, I would have gotten the same enjoyment actually whether playing it on the PSP, no? And I finished a lot of JRPGs using the PSP and the Vita, no? Na hindi ko 'yun magagawa with the TV because because as I grew older, I was always on the move, no. So, and that's a good thing with the handheld devices, guys. It's the portability, and I can applaud the gaming companies that would have cross-platform na mga games no? One of which is Trails of Cold Steel na I played 1 and 2. I finished both sa PlayStation Vita, and then I found ito, honest to goodness, I thought they were exclusive sa Vita. And then I found out na meron din pala sila sa PlayStation 3. And you can cross-platform, you can cross-save. You can use cross-save din. Okay, so it's a good thing. I mean, certainly there are a few features na wala sa handheld na handheld version in comparison sa console devices if it's a cross-platform game. But still, you would at the very essence of the game, you'll still find the same enjoyment pa rin, no? And then kahit naman din ngayon, even with the DS that I got, the 3DS that I got, I even got the Switch, no? Na even though nalalaro ko siya, the feeling of gusto ko pa rin siyang laruin in a big TV screen, nandun pa rin. And I'm trying to find out all of the cables or all of the necessary accessories para lang may kabit ko ang PSP, ang Vita, ang DS, 3DS sa mahook ko lang siya sa TV, no? So why even I have to do that? Even with my Game Boy Advance games na meron ako, I would use my Game Boy my GameCube, use the Game Boy player para lang ma-play ko siya sa TV. So even the handheld games, you still need to play it on a big TV screen. So it's all a matter of preference, whether I'm playing it on the go or still playing it on TV, nandun pa rin. So it's not really of a technical issue, it's not really a technical superiority, but ang habol mo pa rin is the enjoyment of the game pa rin. No? Even the most primitive games that you have out there, whether it's a Game & Watch or play it on a 65-inch TV, regardless, as long as you got respect and love for that game, you really could care less, graphics man o but whether it's graphics din ang pinag-uusapan natin dito. And nasabi nila Switch daw. Yes, Switch, but don't sa mga hindi nakakaalam, the Sega Nomad, no, it's one of those first hybrid devices, no. Ang Nomad, kung pinakita ni Sir Joel kanina, you can use the AV connectors there dun sa likod ng Sega Nomad. You can connect that to your TV back in the day, na CRT na TV, and you can use it as a Sega Genesis din. It's a 2-in-1. Sa totoo lang guys, it's a hybrid. Even before Switch, sa mga di nakakaalam, Nomad is one of those games na pwede rin siyang maging Sega Genesis, that you can connect to the TV, you can play your Sega games there. And I think yung Sega, yung PC engine na handheld din yata, Sir Joel, as you mentioned.
Yes.
I think that's also a hybrid.
The PC engine is also actually a hybrid. I can show you guys here right now. It has an AV out right there. So if you guys want, you can use this as your Sega Genesis while you're traveling, resting in a hotel room. Dalin mo na lang yung cable ng AV out, and then you can play your game while you're in the hotel room instead of just waiting until the next office the next office meeting happens. All right.
A little bit of history there, guys. Noong unang panahon, there was this idea ng Sega na nagagawa sila ng isang handheld console exclusively for the airlines, mga eroplano. Na itong device na ito, you'll just hook it up dun sa TV ng mga ng mga eroplano, so you can play your Sega games there. And then eventually the idea came forth, then nagkaroon na tayo ng mga Game Gear, nagkaroon ng Nomad. So it's not just the Switch who was very revolutionary, guys. Sega was also ahead of was also ahead of the game back in the day. Nagkataon nga lang na the battery pack is what? 6-8 I think it's 6 AA batteries, and you would be lucky na makakuha ka ng 3 hours worth of game gameplay sa Sega Nomad, no? It was a very it's a very good concept na you'll going to play your Sega Genesis, Sega Mega Drive games on a Nomad, assuming of course you'll have the battery life for this. And unfortunately, with the Sega Nomad, when it first came out, lumabas na rin ng Sega Saturn. Sega had to pull all of their resources to push the Saturn, kaya hindi naging ganun kaganda ang marketing ng Sega Nomad. Konti lang ang naging production nila with the Nomad. And I checked the Nomad prices. Average, it would cost you 500 more or less US dollars just to get a working Nomad. So yung nakuha ni Sir Joel ngayon, it's a steal actually.
Oh yeah, let's pass it off to Siebert. I want him to read the next question, unless he wants to interject his opinion on superiority or inferiority of handhelds. Pero I want Siebert to read Ian's question regarding anong handheld yung pinamana.
Where is Ian's question?
Ian's
Anong
question. Okay, let's
handheld
just bring it up.
ang pinamana ng-
Let me just see if I can read it instead so that Siebert can answer it. Anong handheld ang pinamana nyo sa later generation pero pinagsisihan nyo agad?
Meron ba?
Hello,
Assuming na merong later generation.
Anong handheld?
Hindi, it doesn't have to be your anak. It could be yung pinsan mo na talagang nakakaasar na talagang tumahimik ka nga dyan, eto, laruin mo yan. Tapos yun na nga, mamaya nasira niya or whatever,
So,
gano'n yun.
this normally happens before, hindi sa handheld, sa games
Ah.
mismo.
Sa games mismo.
So,
Oh my gosh.
So, I remember, kasi dati uso ang PSP, so ride games.
Yes.
Hindi pa sa akin uso yung mga, alam mo yung, ano ba tawag nun? Yung minomod para makapag-download ka na ng games.
Oh, yes.
So, I normally buy original talaga. So, unfortunately, mabait akong tao. Pinapahiram ko siya. So, some of them never came back. So, but hindi ako nagsisi talaga na may pinagsisiyan. Wala akong pinagsisiyan na may binigyan ako ng console. Kasi medyo ako sa gamit ko din eh. Medyo even my kids, I don't let them touch my retro stuff. So I'll just let them play with the PlayStation 4 and all that, but and their Switch. So but then again with my old retro consoles like yung mga Game Gear, SD, that's all just for me. If they want to play it, they can use the PS4.
The PS4.
Yeah. Or their Switch. PS4 and Switch. Medyo na siya ngayon.
Ayan. Little
Usong-uso.
call back here to Jansen Dane Robles Imperial. Hello, Jansen of Page Name Required. A little comment he mentioned here a little bit earlier was yung Game Boy Color with all the accessories and lighting. I remember yung mga Game Boy Color na marami mga worm light, yung mga magnifying glass ay kakabit, yung mga grids and everything, you know. Just a little acknowledgement dyan. Pero does anybody have any experiences about yung kapag pinahiram nyo or pinamana nyo yung mga handhelds nyo or games?
Eto,
and
sir, baka si Sir Ray. Malamang si Sir Ray meron yan, no? Na
Yes. Raymond.
Akin, yung first ever ko kasi, di ba yung packet, Game Boy Pocket.
Oh, yes.
That time na yon kasi, ito yung natatandaan ko eh, yung may pinsan ako na galing UK, yung nanay niya kasi ninang ko. So ever since, medyo malapit sa akin. Tapos, nung hiniram sa akin yung Game Boy Pocket, hindi na nabalik, nadala na ng UK.
Naku.
Una pa siyang pumunta ng ibang bansa kaysa sa akin.
shout out dun sa Game Boy Pocket ng ibang bansa.
Pero yun may kapalit yun. Ewan ko kung natandaan ng ninang ko, nagpadala ng pera para bumili. Ewan ko.
I see. So parang ni-replace.
May compensation.
May compensation.
Pero,
Okay.
siyempre, hindi ko naman sinasadya ipamana sa'yo.
Yun na. Sama ng loob.
Oo
Alam
nga.
ko lang, pinahiram lang namin, pero eventually, nadala.
This is
Di ba,
what
di ba pwedeng di lang sinasadyang mabulsa?
Ito, actually, this is one thing nga, no? So, I respectfully, for everybody na with handhelds or with gaming consoles or with games, kung magpapahiram kayo, i-expect nyo na malamang baka hindi na makabalik sa inyo yon, yung mga bagay-bagay ninyo. Ihanda nyo yung mga loob ninyo na kapag either ipahiram ninyo or later on madala, there's kind of a chance na baka hindi nyo na makuha uli. You know?
Yung
Alright.
basically yun ang nangyari sa akin. Hindi na bumalik. Kasagsagan yun ng ng Pokemon addiction ko eh. Tapos all of a sudden biglang nawala.
Mm.
So yun lang.
Oh my gosh. Ayan, Nikolai Winstanley says UMD sa PSP. That was the file format nga pala ng PSP. I forgot about
The
that.
UMD.
The UMD, which...
The Universal Motion Dancers.
Yeah, Universal Motion Dancers. Yun yung mga
Dying
Honestly,
inside.
Sony is notorious for the fact na gusto nila palagi maglabas ng mga proprietary na mga formats.
Yes.
The UMD, the mini disc, the memory stick.
The memory card.
duo,
Fuck
memory
that.
cards. I'm sorry to say, talagang dahil proprietary yung palagi nilang nilalabas, ang hirap, nagmamahal siya palagi, mabilisan, gano'n. And minsan ang hirap i-maintain. Sorry to have to say this, All right. So, Sir Pao, do you have any comments?
Well, since yun nga, I never owned anything. Mukhang wala naman ako ipapamana.
Yeah, oo. Ikaw,
So,
hindi ka nang tangay ng mga bagay-bagay.
Hindi ka nang tangay.
Hindi na naman ako
talaga.
nagtangayan.
Nagtangay po yan si Sir Pao.
Hindi rin ako nagtangay.
Just kidding.
Ayan, si Sir JDM. Baka may tinangay.
Hindi, wala. Actually, yung etong 3DS, pinamana sa akin ng ng brother-in-law ko. Kasi nakabili na siya ng ng 3DS XL, yan nandito sa likod. Bali pinamana niya sa akin to para makapaglaro ako ng Pokemon Y.
Pokemon
Tapos
Y.
nag-trade kami, yan. Tapos
Ako
Continue.
wala.
Oh, go.
Continue muna, JDM.
Continue,
Ay,
continue, Sir
papamana.
JDM.
Ewan ko, hindi pa ako nakapag Yan din ang kinakatakot ko kasi pagka nagpamana ako, baka mamaya ilang months lang nawawala na. Pero syempre, dapat gamitin din kasi, no? So, mas maganda introduce siya. For example, in the future, mag-offspring tayo. Syempre, papamana ko rin naman.
Of course.
Para history na rin, lesson.
Pamana mo sa akin. Ganito.
Ayun na.
Yung
Bibigay ko kay Maddie.
yung sa akin naman, not really a pamana, itong original na 3DS. Yung bayaw ko kasi, member din ng RGCP. Not really pamana to. Binenta niya rin sa akin to ng 5K.
Oh, okay.
Binenta niya sa akin to ng 5K. Ako naman,
Binudol ka.
well, bayaw ko to. How should I know kung, at that time, hindi ko alam kung anong value ng 3DS. Nung nalaman ko lang na binibenta niya, kasi hinidid naman niya, sige, go lang. And di alam ng asawa ko, kapatid niya, kuya niya actually. Yung kuya niya. And nalaman na lang ng asawa ko na, bakit na sa'yo yan? Binenta sa akin, 5K. Ha? Well, so I've been using this. I played Brave Default on this 3DS. Nung ako'y nakapila ng matagal sa LTO, Tayuman. Binuhay niya, tinanggal niya ang yamot ko at boredom ko nung kinukuha ko yung lisensya ko. But pamana-wise, siguro, not really, maganda bang term ang pamana for that? Not really pamana, but muntik na rin makabulsa. No? Muntik na rin makabulsa. Di naman sadya, pero yun lang. Let's just say na sinugod yung bahay namin kasi di ko daw sinole yung Game Boy nung kapitbahay namin. Ano lang, binibilad ko lang po yung battery sa araw para ibabalik ko po yung
I think the
yung Game Boy
I
Hindi
think the
natin
right
alam
term is
ano,
arbor.
hindi
is
natin
Arbor.
alam laking Quiapo pala si Joe, ayan, no? Yan.
Laking
Ah,
tondo
yeah.
tayuman lang po.
Sabi ni Sir Paul, Arbor yan. Yeah, tama, Arbor yung
Arbor.
ano, yung term nga pala doon. Yan.
Yeah. Pero naibalik naman po yung Game Boy, no?
Very nice, very nice. All right, so we the messages are coming in very quickly. We have a message from actually it turns out Baruna Royka is somebody that we are familiar with. I think it's Eric Sabs. Am I reading that correctly?
Baruna Royka is Gamitagle.
Gami Tagle. I apologize for that. Gami Tagle. There you go. Baruna Royka of Gami Tagle did say that the memory stick is ginto ng PSP. Talagang honestly, yung mga memory sticks, ang mamahal na mga yon. And it's just
Yeah.
swerte lang na naglabas later on yung PSP ng adapter para ron sa micro SD cards
SD
para
cards.
umandar yung mga memory stick ng PSP na in the same shape. We also have a message here from Jerome San Diego who says, let's see. Ako, I love my new 3DS XL at 2DS Mario Red. Matibay at ganda ng mga games. I agree. I agree with that one, Jerome. Yung mga 3DS, talagang at saka yung mga 2DS, those are built to last. Honestly, para mga tangke ang mga yan. Yes, JDM, you're about to say something.
Ano pala, shoutout pala kay Sir Gami Tagle. Nakalaro ko siya dati sa Pokemon Ultra Moon
Oh, cool.
online.
Ultra
Nice.
Moon online.
Yes.
Ultra Moon. Oh,
And
Sa
good
isa
thing
sa
na
mga
alam
streams
nyo
ko,
guys,
nakalaro.
good thing about sa Game Boy, lagi silang may backward compatibility. From Game Boy
yes.
Advance, Game Boy SP, nagmula sa
Hmm.
Nintendo DS, Nintendo DS. Lagi silang may backward compatibility. Ano ibig sabihin ng sa mga nasa na nanonood ng
Yeah.
live. Ibig sabihin nun, yung cartridge mo ng Game Boy Color, pwede mong gamitin sa Game Boy Advance. Na yung
Yes.
cartridge mo ng Game Boy Advance, pwede mong gamitin sa Game Boy DS. Nintendo
Yes.
DS. And yung cartridge mo ng Nintendo DS Lite
Pwede sa
or
3DS.
yan, 3DS, pwede mong gamitin sa 3DS. Yun yung kagandahan ng Game Boy series doon.
Yes.
That's it.
Kaya
That's very
marami
true.
yung nahumaling sa Nintendo DS eh. Kasi
It's a
even though na ayan, may dalawa na pwede mo laruin, Game Boy Advance saka Game Boy Nintendo DS na eh.
it's a bit of marketing genius on
Maganda yung
Nintendo's
sa
part,
yung
actually.
original
Tama
DS
yun.
no? DS tsaka DS Lite because you can play DS games and Game Boy Advance games.
Yes,
It only
exactly.
kapag DS kasi after nang nirelease nila ang DSi, tinanggal nila ang GBA compatibility para makapaglaro ka ng I think they added the memory card sa DSi. Doon na yata yung time na pwede ka na maglaro ng mga downloaded games eh.
We have a quick message here from Nikolai Winstanley. I think that's Mel Bryan. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Meron bang Game Boy Micro si Tito Joel?
Meron.
Meron yan.
Ito.
Meron, yun, oh.
Ay, sa lahat ng nangongkolekta rito ng console, si Tito Joel lang. Ang lahat meron.
Hindi naman lahat.
Almost.
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 lahat. Ito kasi I love this one. The Game Boy
Kung
Micro,
game
the Game
nga,
Boy Advance
meron yun.
Micro is one of my absolute most favorite handhelds because it's so blasted tiny. Ang liit niya, pero it's a fully functional Game Boy Advance. As in talaga pwede mo siya isilid sa iyong bulsa habang nagmamadali ka palabas ng pintuan na sa bahay mo.
Nako,
dahil
gusto
may
ni Sir Ray na mga ganyan mga small.
Tapos, kapag nakatenga ka sa traffic ng mga 3 oras dahil alam mo naman yung traffic na Maynila, huhugutin mo na lang sa bulsa mo, maglaro ka ng, I don't know, Final Fantasy Tactics.
At huhugutin din ng snatcher.
Yun ang masama doon. Yun ang masaklap doon.
Gamer din yung Snatcher. Ano?
Yun. Actually, yun yung isa sa mga bagay kung bakit nag-aalala ako sa Pilipinas dati na magdala ng mga handhelds ko. Dahil
Isang yoink.
isang mabilisan lang na
Mabilisan lang yan, nako.
habang nasa jeepney ka o nasa bus ka, magbabay ka na ron sa
Huwag kang tutulog-tulog.
At the same time guys, yun sa mga viewers, si Tito Joel yung handheld king namin ng PRG. Remind ko lang sa inyo, handheld king to. So lahat ng lason pagdating sa handheld gaming console, yan.
Ito
Mas
naman,
marami si Tito Joel
ito naman ang
dyan.
actually my personal answer naman to my own question about the inferiority or superiority of handhelds. There's a reason kung bakit marami akong mga handhelds. Because of the fact na I believe I am constantly amazed. Ang galing talaga ng mga tao na gumagawa ng mga handheld consoles and games na nami-miniaturize sila yung mga components ng games ng mga consoles para umandar habang you're on the go. Plus, yung mga quality ng games na nilalagay sa kanya, they're not as good, technically speaking, like Siebert said, or was it Joe who said that? Quality-wise, technically speaking, they're not as good, but gameplay-wise, more often than not, kasing galing din siya, if not better, than yung mga consoles or yung mga PC games na nalalaro natin. Case in point, isa sa mga favorite games ko sa PC is called Sim Tower. So if anybody's familiar with that, it's a game where where you have a building, unti-unti mo siyang tinatayo, tumatangkad, tapos nilalagyan mo ng mga offices, restaurants, ng mga condominiums, ng mga things like that, facilities. Yon game na yon na port actually dito sa Game Boy Advance. And it's really something, the fact that they were able to port it over into the Game Boy Advance. Pwede ko siyang isaksak rito sa Game Boy Advance micro ko. And habang nakatrap ako, habang nagsha-shopping si Mrs. ng mga damit niya sa mga department store o kaya sa grocery, pwede ako umupo lang tapos magtayo ako ng sarili kong building and then reach that 5-star level. What I normally can only experience on the PC, I can now carry around in my pocket and play while I'm on the go. So yun yung main fascination ko sa mga handhelds. So that is my personal opinion on handhelds. Quality-wise, sometimes they're even better than the console games on a subjective level because mas masaya siya laruin while you're on the go. Eric Sab says, nangyari sa akin yung going home from work, nanakawan ako ng Vita, nakaidlip sa boss. Yun ang
Ngayon lang. Yun lang.
pinakamalaking fears natin. Actually, let me ask JDM a question. Kasing talamak ba yun? Yung ganyang klaseng happening sa Cebu? Cebu, right? JDM?
Yes.
Mga nangahablot.
Sa ano ko dito, sa time span ko dito sa Cebu City, meron akong pinapollow na group sa Facebook, Nintendo Cebu. May nag-report na nakawan siya ng 3DS XL yata while riding jeep. Pero yun lang yung only instance na nabalitaan ko, pero
Reported.
so far wala naman. Oo.
Yung reported lang. But of course, most of the time, hindi naman nire-report yung mga ganyan.
Oo.
Like, I
Sabagay.
mean, even before the social media, siguro, yung yung hindi pa masyadong talamak ang social media, siguro marami ng mga naka-experience niyan nationwide. Hindi lang masyadong napapublicize masyado.
Oo, yan, ganun.
Ay, naka, my goodness. Pero yun na nga, it's here na, it's not as prevalent na nga siguro. Dahil isa sa mga malaking bagay, actually, is kapag nag-ride ka ng public transportation sa Pilipinas, is nakakatakot talaga. Sa Maynila in particular na habang isang maling galaw mo lang, mahahablot na either kung ano man ang hawak mo or kung anong suot mo. It's one of the sad memories that I have sa Pilipinas na talagang na-train yung situational awareness ko. Sanay ako na palaging lumilibot yung paningin ko. Baka meron na nagbabanta sa akin dyan eh. No? O yan, let's see. Sir Pao might want to read Boss Jeff's question. No?
Okay. So, yung question ni Tito Popoy, is there a handheld na hindi mo pa nabili or nasa wishlist mo? Ano to at bakit?
Oh,
Tama.
now I
I'll go first.
Ayan. Sige. Joe,
Now I
go first.
understand kung bakit sa akin pinabasa.
I'll go first. I would say when I was preparing for the show, I watched a few videos about handhelds and parang gusto kong magkaroon ng Sega Nomad. And mali ko pala meron din pala si Sir Joel, no? And Sega Nomad, I think J Prime also wanted a Sega Nomad as well. It's just something nung nalaman ko na you can use it as a miniature Sega Genesis. That's the main reason why I wanted a Nomad for myself. And then when I checked for the prices, as in, grabe ang mahal. Parang bumili na rin ako ng actual might as well just buy a new Genesis, no? For the same price, just you can probably buy a complete in-box Sega Genesis for yourself. Actually, di lang Genesis eh. you can pretty much buy a 32X and a Mega CD for that asking price. But Sega Nomad for its idea, siguro, sabi ko if ever magkaroon ako ng ako pa naman yung tipo ng gusto kong maglaro ng isang JRPG using the actual hardware. I would have played Phantasy Star 1, 2, 3, 4 on the Nomad. No, I mean I can play Phantasy Star 1, 2, 3, 4 with Xbox or PlayStation, but there's still something more alluring if you're playing it on an actual Sega device. No, so that's it for me. It's the Nomad for me.
Ako rin, I just wanna share yung my opinion on that kasi I always wanted to have a Nomad. Kasi ang dami kong Sega Genesis games. So while on work kasi I collect lots of Genesis games, and having a Nomad is something na malaking bagay sana, at least when you're on the go malalaro ko yung mga Genesis games ko because I grew up with Sega. So very nostalgic siya sa akin. So unfortunately, because yun nga yung presyo as mentioned by Sir Sergio, na sobrang mahal ng Nomad. So you can see it online through eBay. It's available. It's not exactly that rare, but the thing is, kung makakuha ka ng mura, or even defective one, it's still pricey, even local
Right.
Pinas. So kahit defective siya, mahal pa rin siya. So yun ang downside. Pero I always wanted to have a Nomad. Maybe in the future. Mali, hindi natin masasabi ko si Sir Joel bibigay sa atin.
Hindi, tsaka ang maganda rin sa Nomad, actually, Sir Joel, correct me if I'm wrong, you can play Mega Drive and Genesis games on the Nomad.
Yes. That's the thing about Sega Nomad. You can play Genesis and Mega Drive, if I remember correctly. The thing about Genesis, the difference lang naman in Genesis and Mega Drive is this little notch on the side of the cartridge lang naman sa Sega Genesis or sa Sega Mega Drive. I think
So region free basically ang
yes,
ang
region
Nomad.
free. If you really, if you just want to play it, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Yun lang naman talaga yung difference ng kada card, ng kada bala niya. Kapag isang notch ron sa, I'm not quite sure if it's the Mega Drive or the Genesis that has a notch, yun yung magpe-prevent sa Genesis na console na mag-play ng different region. Pero the Nomad, as I recall, does not have that limitation. Mhm. Oh, we have a message here from Sir Carlo Rave. Sa akin, Virtual Boy, na hindi handheld.
Sir Carlo, si Sir Carlo guys supposedly dapat he's supposed to be here. Ang dami niya rin mga handheld na ipapakita. Unfortunately, his internet is acting up. So, love you, Sir Carlo.
The Virtual Boy. I've tried it. I never had it. I wished I did when it first came out. Pero when I tried the Virtual Boy, sumakit yung ulo ko.
Sakit
Honestly,
ulo.
The red against black visuals.
If you think the green screen ng Game Boy is bad enough, paano pa kaya red and black?
Ayan, let's see. We have a message here from who else might want to pipe in on the wish list?
Wish list daw, handheld, Sir Ray. Baka ikaw meron.
Ako Game Gear.
Game
The Gear.
Okay.
Actually, kahit hindi ko talaga, tawag doon, hindi dahil nakita ko yung kay Sir Siebert, pero
Nag-aggravate lang.
may best friend kasi ako for Mega Gear, talagang hinihiram ko siya. As in, inuuwi ko sa bahay. Like yung shoutout kay Adrian Briones pa yan.
It's colored.
Sabi pa niya, sige, iwi mo. Ang laro ko pa noon is Sonic saka yung Mortal Kombat pa noon. So, yun. Gustong-gusto kong makakuha ng Game Gear for for sanity purposes din dahil isa sa
Sanity.
dahil isa sa nagpamulat sa akin sa handheld gaming din ng Game Gear. So, yun.
Representing mga Sega fanboys dyan back in the 90s. Anything counterculture released by Nintendo, Sega pa rin.
I'm not a Sega fanboy, pero yun nga, dahil yung kaibigan ko medyo may kaya, he has the Game Boy and he has the Game Gear. So, salit-salitan lang kami nun. So, yung Game Gear yung tinitira ko sa kanya. Inuwi ko.
Okay.
All right. About si Sir JDM, wish list
JDM.
na
Wish
handheld.
list. Siguro PS Vita.
Really? Wala ka pa?
Wala eh. Wala. Kasi dati, medyo low income pa tayo, kaya nasa wish list lang. Ngayon lang medyo nakakabawi na. So, maybe someday. One of these
GCP.
days soon.
Ang dami niyan.
Oo. Lalo na nung meron kasi akong
Kalat.
friend na gamer din. Nakabili siya around 5K ng PS Vita.
Mahal pa? 5K?
Dito kasi siguro dahil dito sa lugar namin, which
Ayun
is hindi masyadong hindi sila masyadong aware sa pricing talaga ng PS Vita. Kaya medyo malaki-laki pa yung presyo. And yun lang. Yun lang ang naano ko
Vita.
nasa
Vita
ko.
daw
wish
for
list.
Sir JDM. How about Sir Pao? Wish list daw po, handheld.
8.5 ba?
Wish list.
Kaso
Oo nga, 5K eh, no?
Henkaku, Henkaku.
Kung henka ko ready, pwede na.
8.5 to makakasilip ka ng around 6 to 7. RGCP pala. Marami doon.
Yes, Sir Pao, you were saying.
Okay. So hindi daw yata someone here sa chat earlier hindi kino-consider na handheld ang Switch. So hindi ko na siya isasama as wish list. So kung meron man
Kind of.
kung meron man akong
For me,
gustong maangkin for the first time ever in my life,
Aside
Gear.
from the Switch.
Game Gear.
Which one? Game Gear.
Some would
Game
say
Gear.
though, some would say
Game
that
Gear.
the Switch, the iteration of the
Both.
Switch, the
It's
Lite,
both.
am I
It's
remembering the
handheld
Switch
at the same
Lite
time.
is exclusively a handheld? Pero we can argue that back and forth. Continue, sige, Sir Pao.
So yan.
Game Gear daw.
Game Gear is, kasi ma- ano it brings back memories of childhood. Saka ang Game Gear pwede mong malaro kahit sa dilim.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, yun lang.
Very true,
Yun
yeah.
lang. That's true. Kasi colored nga rin
Backlight.
naman. And I would like to mention din, at the time, nung mga panahon ng mga gaming magazines, nakaka-intriga yung mga advertisements nila ng Game Gear games. No? Kasi you can,
Sa Nintendo.
right? In comparison mo naman sa Game Boy ng Nintendo. Well, there's the Game Boy Color. That's their answer. Kasi nga, they want to address the screen. But hey, you got a Game Gear before they came out with the Game Boy Color. So, yun nga. Any other questions dyan for the panel to answer, Sir Joel?
Let's see. We have a couple of questions here.
Ayan.
Bakit hindi
sige.
ko kasama ang Switch? Portable yan, di ba?
Yeah, there is an argument to be made that the Switch is actually a portable console with desktop capabilities, or
Yeah.
Yes. It's
or
both. Yeah.
it's
I
kasi
agree.
talagang built siya to carry
Handheld.
around.
If it's just handheld talaga, no. Kung sinadya siyang handheld with added features as a countertop, then yes.
Hybrid na
sigu-
lang, siguro.
Hybrid na
You can
lang.
consider
And
Switch as a
and
hybrid.
although we are planning din sana ng survey, we're gonna focus a Switch centric episode later down the line. Eventually, pag-usapan natin ng matagalan ng Switch kasi it's a
Let's
whole
consider Switch
diba?
as a hybrid.
It's a hybrid.
Console na lang.
Mhm.
Parang katulad ng mga late nating nalaman, PSP pala is pwede palang i-connect sa TV.
Vita TV.
Di ba?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or maybe yan, Nomad na yan. Yung Nomad na
It's a
pinakita
Nomad.
ni-
Hybrid din a Nomad.
ni Tito Joel na it can be applied din sa TV. So we
Yes.
can, right now, we can consider Switch as a hybrid handheld gaming console.
Yeah.
Yan. Yan.
Oh, yeah. Now, continuing,
Ang
we
mga
have...
portable, yan, tama si Sir Eric. Ito. Kasi dalawa variations na Switch eh. Ito yung pinapakita ko is Switch Lite. Ito talaga yung portable. Like
Yes, there you
handheld
go.
talaga siya. Ano ibig sabihin nun, hindi siya pwedeng i-dock. So wala siyang docking system. Okay? Unlike yung
Strictly
mga
handheld.
B1, B2 and OLED na meron kami. Ayun, yun dockable. So it can be considered as hybrid. Ito hindi. Handheld talaga siya. Alright?
All right, we have a comment here from RG Hutchin. We have an exclamation point notify. Thank you very much, RG Hutchin. That is RG Hutchin of Laruan ni Juan, and he also says, "Ang pogi nyo,
Pogi
pakis."
Okay, Pakis.
Ayan, as JDM does the motion here.
I think we still have we can still squeeze one more question before before we end the show. Looking at our time, we're almost running out of time. Sabi natin mga producers, so we can squeeze one more question before we end the show. Ano yung another question dyan na naset ni Sir Joel sa atin?
Let's see. I
Is
guess
a battery life a big hindrance to your portable gaming?
Battery life.
Battery life. Does it set limits in the back of your head regarding how long you can play while you're go? So, ibig sabihin, hindrance ba ang battery life ng handheld games?
Sir Pao, take it
Yeah.
away.
And dyan ako nagiging madasalin dahil pag alam kong delikado na yung battery ko, sana makapag-save ako, sana makapag-save ako, sana makapag-save ako, sana makapag-save ako, yeah. And I'm
Pag
hoping
nag-red
na makapag-save ako ng game ko before the battery dies. That's it.
kapag
Alright.
nag-red na yung indicator light, kapag nag-blink
Shit,
na
oh,
ganun,
putang na.
yun.
Yan ang original red light. Yan ang original red light of death.
Sa Game Boy DMG,
As
ang
in,
gagawin mo,
sa
pag
DMG.
malapit na yung maubos yung battery mo, mawawala yung contrast. So, ang
Ayaw.
gagawin
Di ba ano yan? Di ba green muna, tapos orange, tapos yellow, tapos red, orange, red. Oh my God, ayan na.
yung
Tapos
a-adjust
nagbe-blink
mo
na
yung
yung red.
contrast para lang makita mo yung screen mo.
kasi tapos bababaan mo ang volume para lang makasave, para masave mo lang ang battery ng konti.
yun yung medyo tensionado ka na. Hindi na boss battle yung kalaban mo eh. Boss battle mo yung baterya eh.
Yung baterya. About you, Sir JDM?
Talagang malaking hindrance talaga yan yung battery life. Pero ako kasi may mga may mga tawag nun power banks, especially sa yung sa Switch. Nung experience ko kasi lalo na yung yung nagbumagyo dito, ilang days walang kuryente. Buti na lang doon sa office namin pwede kami mag-charge. So, na-charge ko na yung Switch, na-charge ko na rin yung power bank. So, pag umuwi ako sa bahay, yun, maglalaro ako bago matulog or Yan.
Yung naranasan mo last time, di ba?
Yung sinend ko na picture na nag-charge ako sa SM. Free charging.
Sa panahon ng kagipitan, sa panahon ng delubyo,
Yes.
mga handhelds ang makakasave ng sanity mo.
Sobra,
Grabe.
sobra.
It's a reality of life sa Pilipinas kasi na we're a tropical country. Marami mga bagyo na padating, marami mga bagay-bagay like minsan lindol na nangyayari na talaga it will knock out your power or it'll knock out your access to yung mga usual na mga gaming mo or just plain old traffic nasa family car ka tapos pauwi ka sa South Super Highway mula sa Makati hanggang sa sa Bikutan 3 oras. Nakatenga ka ron ng walang ginagawa. Minsan, yung brick game mo, yan na lang yung tanging bagay na magsasalo
Oh my God.
ng katinuan.
Oh my God.
The only thing that will save your
I can
sanity.
attest to that, Sir Joel. No, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, I grew up during the roaring blackouts of the 90s, panahon pa ni Cory, no, and a single brick game during the evening blackouts, no. Pupunta pa ako tindahan na para lang bumili ng maraming baterya dahil alam ko hanggang umaga ang blackout. So, gamit mo ang ang brick game mo noon, whether it's a brick game or whether it's a Game Boy that you were using back in the mid 90s. The batteries, the AA batteries can be your best friend or your worst enemy, no? And dito na uso rin yung binibilad natin ng mga baterya sa araw. Yun ang original na battery pack, guys. Solar powered. Yan yung pamahiin na ibilad mo sa yero na tanghaling tapat and magically marirecharge daw ang battery mo. Saksak mo daw sa Game Boy, saksak mo daw sa Tetris, gagana uli yan, berde daw. Kung Game Boy yan, berde kaagad ang ang battery sensor mo, no? Lahat 'yon naranasan natin yan back in the 90s, no? Yan yung mga misconceptions natin in regarding with battery life. As in, and batteries back, kala mo mura lang siya ngayon, no? But batteries back then, just for inflation, mahal-mahal din. Sa totoo lang.
Mahal lang ever ready,
Mahal lang ever ready. And even the cheap walang cheap knockoffs no, Sir Ray. Walang cheap knockoff noon, di ba? Walang ibang brand. It's either ever ready or ano lang, Energizer.
Mayaman ka pag naka-energizer ka. Mas mayaman
O kaya
ka.
Duracell. In Duracell, very rare yun.
Duracell at the time, wala. So, kung gusto mo makamura, bibili ka, imbes na black, ever ready, red.
Yung red. Oo, tama.
Ang pinaka
Mas mura kasi yun.
Sa dalawang battery ng Everready, itim ang
Matagal.
ang pinakamarahaba ang buhay.
Oo.
Super heavy duty.
Yo.
Heavy duty kasi ang red. Kuno.
Heavy duty kasi, di ba? So, yun nga, sabi ko nga, pag Everready bibili ka, okay sa'yo. Pag naka-energizer ka, mayaman ka. Social Pagdating mo na,
Shala.
mas social ka talaga pag naka-sano rechargeable battery ka or naka-chargeable battery.
O, yun lang.
Yeah.
Yeah. May may status ko yung mga batteries people.
Oh, there you go. Seabird is showing his Ratchet and
PSP
Clank
box.
edition of PSP. There you go.
Right.
Let's do a really quick squeeze on this because I think JDM is going to be the one who is going to benefit from this the most. Juan de Marcos, please read Jerome San Diego's question.
Okay lang po ba sa inyo ang third-party handheld? I own kasi Superboy handheld SNES. Okay naman siya. Very good battery life. Third-party handheld, yun ba yung mga Steam Deck or ganun?
Ambernic.
Yung mga hindi properly endorsed ng mga gaming
Retro
companies
Mini.
Ako
Mga
kasi
China
hindi
made.
ako masyadong familiar sa mga third Actually ngayon lang ako na-aware na ganun pala yung tawag sa Stream Deck, sa Anbernic, tapos yung yung iba pang mga. Pero okay naman siguro kasi yung meron din kasing mga bagong handhelds na ngayon, 'di ba, na pwede na mag-run ng mga PC games.
That's true.
So,
That's actually one of the reasons kung bakit sa'yo ko binato yung question niyo JDM kasi I know you're not as you don't have as many of the originals. The more recent ones like the Anbernic games, the Anbernic third-party handhelds, these are now available. They can actually play yung mga lumang mga games mo like the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance,
Up until PS1.
up until PS1. This one naman is
Nice.
the Pocket the Pocket Go, if I remember correctly, the Retroid Pocket. So this can play yung mga arcade games mo, yung mga MAME games like
Mame.
Cadillacs and Dinosaurs,
Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, Alien Predator,
Aliens versus Predator,
Simpsons,
yung mga things like
X-Men.
that.
Nice.
So, those are the kinds of things, yung mga third-party handhelds, that if you did not have the opportunity to collect them in the old days, JDM, you get the chance now para maranasan. Kasi gaming is gaming, honestly. Sabihin man natin na whether you're gaming on original hardware, whether you're gaming on an emulator, whether you're gaming on a third-party handheld, as Jerome San Diego did say, the Superboy will run Super NES games or Famicom games. Gaming is gaming. Basta mag-enjoy ka, magpapakasaya ka. That's the whole point of gaming. Sure,
Right.
you can support a particular company, you can support a particular brand, you can support a particular console, that's fine. Pero you want to have the most enjoyment from as many sources as you possibly can. And that's why ini-endorse kasi the JDM. You might want to check out the third-party handheld.
Rather than buying every handheld device,
yes.
might as
Kung
well
collector
all-in-one
ka
mo na
kasi,
lang.
JDM, you would you would buy every console na
Mm.
handheld
Mm.
console.
Kung collector ka
Pero as
talaga.
a regular gamer na gusto mo lang malaro yung
Laro,
bawat
no?
oo,
Right.
malaro mo lang yung bawat nasa PSP, PS1 or sa Mame, 'yan. You should consider Ambernet o yung mga third party kung ano, handheld consoles. So, 'yun, depende talaga sa'yo, eh.
Mukhang nalalasa na ako.
Tanong
Ayan.
mo kay Tito Joel,
And how
Alam
about
na
Sir
this.
Pao? Sir
lason.
Pao might have an opinion on this. Sir Pao, do you have an opinion on third-party handhelds?
Well, for the sake of enjoyment, why not? Then that's just fine. After all, ano, pwede mo siyang on the go kasi halimbawa nababagot ka sa traffic,
Mm.
maglalaro ka then, or naghihintay ka ng mahabang pila, makapaglaro ka. Or
Mm.
ang tagalutuin ng order mo sa restaurant, makakapaglaro ka.
Yes.
Nagpapamaning
Although I am
picnic.
not
Oh,
sure on
yan.
a certain third party handheld na nakita ko before. I watched a video of Irate Gamer endorsing a device called NES Retro Mini. Maliit
NES
siyang
Retro
NES,
Mini.
but
I don't think I've
the
seen that
but
one.
the but the bad side of it is ang gamit mo pa ring cartridge is yung from original NES. So I don't
I
see the
see, I see.
portability from it.
Ah,
I mean, it's not bad. It's not a bad idea,
That's not
pero
actually bad.
the bulkiness factor, like you said, Sir Pao, is something to
Bulky pa
consider.
rin na malaking NES cartridge yung dala mo
Oo nga,
for
yun
that
nga.
portable
Kind
for
of
that
like the
portable
Superboy din,
device.
like Jerome did say. Jerome is
Yeah.
endorsing the Superboy. Actual SNES cartridges ang ginagamit mo rin doon. Sabi ni Jerome, long battery life, that's good. You can play original hardware, that's like cartridges, that's good. I guess Sir Pau's concern is the bulkiness factor naman. Yun ang medyo malaking
Kasi
issue
malaki
nung
yung cartridge ng NES, di ba?
hindi mo pwede ibulsa, hindi mo po pwedeng hindi mo po pwedeng kailangan you have to have your tawag doon, your messenger bag with you to carry it around. Well, that's fine, yun na nga, we game however we like. Yun ang kagandahan ng pagiging retro gamer. Marami tayong options and we can game however we like whenever we like,
Yun pa rin.
Ayun, Siebert, you might want to pitch in. Is there something that you wanted to say? I think there's an opinion forming in the back of your eyes right there.
Sega boy.
I actually own third-party handhelds. So
There you go.
I have to be honest with that. Kasi ako, I'm into collecting talaga.
Mm.
So I don't play games na wala ako. So maybe it's just me, pero kasi I actually get the pleasure of actually playing something na meron ako na original at the same time. So after I play it, I display it and enjoy the moment na nalaro ko siya. So that's the reason why marami rin akong handheld. So I have mga limited edition sa PSP. Nagkaroon rin ako ng, I'm not really into Nintendo, pero I have the 3DS XL na Mario.
You know.
So, by the way, if you're buying handhelds, make
Yeah.
sure it's limited edition. Para in the future, if it
True.
comes to that point, you
Okay,
can sell
dalawang lason.
Mario.
Either limited editions or first edition.
Dalawang limited edition ko dito, yung
So,
Animal Crossing saka DS Lite.
Mhm.
so
Yan,
I own third-party handhelds, pero for me as a collector, I enjoy playing if I have the original game
For the
using
sake
the
of, yeah.
console. So
Yes.
maybe some collectors may relate to that, pero I never play games na wala ako. So I make it a point na I'm aiming to get that game, saka ako siya lalaro. So
Okay.
so there are certain games na I play na hindi ko trip yung game, so I usually play them on my third party console.
And it's
So meron
very
ang
valid
dami
as
sa
well.
dito. By the way, Sir Joel, sa Pilipinas ang daming mga third party na console na mabibili. So
Nice.
yung mga hindi naman siya branded, pero
Mm.
if you go to Shopee, ang dami eh. So marami kang option.
That's a very valid concern, actually. In Siebert's case, his principle is that he has to own generally has to own the game before he either runs it on original hardware or on an emulator, which is perfectly fine. Absolutely. Marami mga tao na ganon, they do want to make sure na they have the option to play it on original hardware para makuha niya yung authentic experience or on a third party handheld to see if there's any improvements or filters that you can apply para medyo maiba naman yung itsura niya. Sometimes third party handhelds actually have the capacity to put on what you call overlays or filters ron sa kanyang screen para makita mo like kunyari naka CRT TV o kaya may blur lines siya ganun para kunyari merong after image, things like that ganun. So it's a perfectly valid opinion, and that's the wonderful thing about retro gaming. There's tons of options. Let's see. We have a message here from Jom Enten of Jomar at Facebook Gaming
Hey,
page.
Sir Jom.
Yeah, there you go. Ay, di ko narinig. Baka nasagot na. Ano ang take ninyo sa emulator handheld? That is basically our
The
take,
third
Sir,
parties.
Sir Jomar. The fact is, we allow for them, we enjoy them. Kapag may chance na laruin siya in the original hardware, we would like to play them. Pero in certain instances na talagang walang chance, like certain games na hindi na translate na kailangan lagyan ng fan patch or something, you have to use an emulator handheld.
How
That's
about
the like.
si Sir Ray? Ano yung kanyang take on
Mm,
this?
yes.
Sa akin okay lang kung gamer ka lang talaga.
Mm-mm.
Enjoy mo lang yung
Yes.
emulator handle.
Mm-mm.
Wala yan. Kung
Mm-mm.
collector ka, syempre may kahit kahit ngayon may mga third party consoles na emulator handheld pero nako-kolekta na rin. So wala nang say ang wala hindi na sa akin hindi na siya sa akin big deal kung emulator handheld siya. As long as you're enjoying what are you playing or kung ano yung nilalaro mong handheld. Doesn't matter.
Mas
Mm-mm.
practical, no?
Oh,
Yes.
In
practical
in
na yun.
in
Pero
my
kung
case,
collector ka nga, 'di ba? Kung
yes.
collector ka, may ibang ano ka, pero
In
kung gamer ka talaga, okay lang 'yun.
Mm-mm.
in case naman sa mga collectors, actually, if you really have the money and the resources, go on ahead, no? But always remember, especially if you're collecting retro, no? Those games that you're buying somewhere else, the revenue doesn't really go to the developers themselves, no? Mapupunta yan dun sa taong binilan mo. Yung perang pinambili mo ng retro game, hindi yan mapupunta sa taong gumawa mismo, sa the developers, the companies. And the retro companies back then, malamang sa malamang, wala na ngayon. So, so parang you're not really supporting anyone here. Basta't makakuha ka lang, basta't makuha mo lang sa collection mo for the sake of meron ka lang. But like Sir Ray mentioned, as long if you're just interested on the actual software and you cannot really, if you don't got the resources to minsan nga mas mahal pa, the actual game itself mas mahal pa nga sa third party device eh. Might as
True.
well just buy
Yeah.
the third party device, then you can have, and most of the time yung third party device mo nandun naka-install na kagad ng games, you don't have to look for it somewhere else to get it.
Mm-hmm.
No? So if you're just a casual gamer, go on ahead, no? And with the technology that we have right now, yung mas madali siya ma-download, and mas maganda pa nga yung labas niya sa screen ngayon, no? Yung mga the 8-bit, the 16-bit, the 32-bit, the 64-bit, mas okay pa nga siya ang labas niya sa screen made by these third-party companies dito sa mga devices na to. So in terms of practicality, in terms of playability and portability, go dyan. In terms of the economic backlash of it, think nothing of it na actually. Games that came out beyond 20 years ago, no? Wala na tayong magagawa dyan. Kung ito lang ang tanging paraan para malaro nyo talaga, ito lang ang paraan para malaro nyo ito without sacrificing your wallet and your savings, go on ahead. Okay lang po ang Anbernic, no? And this is coming from a collector din. Itong mga kasama ko, most of us here, mga collectors din po kami. Alam po namin ang sakit sa bulsa. But as hardcore gamers, we are welcome with we still acknowledge pa rin yung the availability of retro gaming through these third party devices, no?
Siguro masasabi
We've
ko na
grown.
rin. Yeah, siguro masasabi ko na rin just to add to that is that when you're into collecting, make sure that you're collecting something that you like. So,
Not just because.
not just because nauso lang siya, na nakikibagay ka lang, "Uy, may bagong Pokemon," eh, wala kang mga alam sa Pokemon, alam mo yung gano'n.
Mm.
So so make sure that if you're into collecting, you just make sure that it's something that you will like. So hindi, kung hindi mo gusto, benta mo ulit. So that's where buy and sell comes in. So
Right.
the good thing about games right now is that the value appreciates. So if you're a collector from way back then, if you look at the games that you have, siguro nag times 3 na sa value
At
nowadays. So
least.
it's actually too good to look at those collections that you have that increase in value over time.
Hmm.
I mean, kung mga panahon na yun, kung may mga, nung mga bata tayo siguro, and this is for all of the retro gamers ngayon, no? Kung mga bata pa tayo noon, kung meron tayo mga pera noon, kung lumaki tayo, mararangya ang mga buhay, we could have contributed to the gaming industry back in the 80s, 90s, no? But kailan naman tayo naging retro collectors and gamers
True,
kasi
that's
it's the
true.
nostalgia,
No
no?
memory.
Hmm.
It's the nostalgia. It's a
And
big part of it.
and actually some of us nag-start lang naman mag-collecta nung nagwo-work na. Back
Nag-work
then,
ng
and
pera
I
na.
wasn't able to afford
May
these
pera pero
these
wala ng time.
Yun ang
Kumpara dati na
trade-off.
maraming time pero walang pera.
Yun ang trade-off. Kapag
exactly.
bata ka, marami kang oras, wala kang
Keywords.
pera. Kapag lumaki ka na, marami kang
Itong pera.
pera, pero wala ka ng oras. Yun yun.
Right?
Lalo na kapag nagkaroon ka na ng sarili mong bata, anak. Yan.
Oh my God.
Ayun.
Amen to that.
Ayun, Jonas can relate na right there.
Yes. So, and I think that's it, no? Unless wala na po tayong question dyan from the viewers, we
Just,
can proceed.
yeah. Just a last,
Um,
really quick show. This is the Microvision. I just wanted to show everybody. This is the very
Microvision.
first handheld with switchable cartridges right there, the handheld, the Microvision. Just a little bit of history, because we at Pinoy Retro Gaming pride ourselves in being an educational group aside from an entertainment group. We want to show that this is one of the we want to show the history of it. Microvision is the first handheld system console that had swappable cartridges. One of the cartridges that I had, the for it is the Star Trek Phaser Strike swap. So if you were curious about yung mga origins ng mga cartridges, like sa mga Game Boy and everything, the Microvision is the one that started it all. Mhm.
There you go. Oh, kita
Mhm.
nyo, pati the very first handheld, no? Meron si
Yeah.
Sir Joel. Sabi sa inyo guys, eh.
Ay, nako. Ay, nako.
Yes.
Ay, nako.
To dovetail
Alright,
though,
so,
to dovetail to with what Siebert says, collect what you like,
collect what you
collect
like.
what you're interested in, collect something that is in line with what you are interested in. In my case, ang interest ko is handhelds, honestly, because of the fact that they're portable, they have an amazing style of gameplay, and of course, you love to see in development nila throughout the years. Like in my case, the Microvision, all the way to what we have here right now, which is the Anbernic devices. Talagang gusto kong makita yung development from beginning to current year. How portable gaming developed. And somebody in the chats did say, is Android or iOS considered handheld gaming nowadays? Some instances,
We call that
yes.
mobile gaming. I think we can classify that as mobile gaming.
Yes, some
No?
mobile games honestly have been very, very good. Like like in the old days, Digital Chocolate, or yung the asphalt driving games or things like that. Yung mga ganon. Y- uh, it's really handheld gaming is now mainstream. Whatever you've got in your pocket, your iOS device or your Android device, it can also be considered a handheld console na rin, especially if you configure it properly.
Right.
Continue, Joe.
So, so we'll do our shameless plug. So, but with a twist, closing remarks in regarding with handheld. Let's start with Sir Pau. Closing remarks in regarding handheld gaming and where can they find you?
So when it comes to handheld gaming, always remember the always remember that it's always about our personal enjoyment. That's it. So as for my page, it's Sir Pao on Facebook, Sir Pao Gaming Channel on YouTube, Sir Pao 24 on Twitch. Streaming almost every day, afternoon or evening.
All right. Thank you for that, Sir Pao. How about si Sir JDM? Closing remarks in regarding with handheld gaming and where can they find you?
Ayun, gaya nga ng nasabi ni ni Ninong Joel, collect what you what interest you. Wag lang yung yung tawag no nakikihype ka lang. And enjoy the game. Iba-iba kasi yung mga gameplay sa handheld. Merong iba unique. So it's worth a try talaga handheld. So Juan De Marcos po, you can see me. I will start streaming again this week, this coming week. 1, 2, 3, go dito sa Facebook Gaming and sa Twitch. 1, 2, 3, go, one word. Then tatlong O's. Po. See you po sa stream.
All right. Thank you for that, Sir JDM. How about si Sir Siebert? Closing remarks in regarding handheld and where can they find you? Nako,
A little interjection lang.
ibito na yan. Ibito na yan.
1, 2, 3, go with three O's. Three very pleasurable O's right there. Okay, continue, Siebert.
Just to add, kasi by something I like, as mentioned by Sir Joel, and ako, like I always tell, some people ask me like about my collection and all that. Ang like yung sinasabi, wag mong pigilan sarili mo. If you like something, just go for it. If it's something that will make you happy, buy it. And if you had the money, that is. Yun lang. So especially with handhelds. Handheld, ang daming, it's not just the console, it's the games that it offers. Mga pa Sega, Game Gear ba yan, Genesis, PSP. Ang daming handhelds and they have their own games na pwede mong explore and pwede mong malaro. So, anyway, you can catch me. This is Siebert East, Retro Gamer. So we are part of RPG Gaming. So we have groups PS1 and PSP. So if for group specific, so kung mahilig ka sa PSP at sa PS1, we have PS1 and PSP collectors Philippines. So if you're into PS2, we have PS2 Collectors Philippines. PS3 and Vita Collectors Philippines if you're into PS3 and Vita. And we have partner groups managed by Mr. Andrew Coas in the chat. He runs Sega Collectors Philippines. So hello sa'yo, Sir Andrew. And lastly, Mr. Celso Claudio's group.
Mr. Celso, shout out
Yes.
sa'yo, sir.
Hello. So you can check out my work at Secret East Customs. This is my Facebook page. Thank you guys.
And Sir Siebert, baka pwede mong i-chat diyan yung page mo sa pwede mong i-link yung link mo diyan sa chat so they can check you out after the show. Sir Ray, closing remarks and where they can find ya.
Okay. So, as a gamer and a collector, always remember, kailangan mag-enjoy ka sa game mo. At the same time, sabi nga nila Sir Siebert and Sir Tito Joel, kung ano man ang gusto mong i-collect, kailangan masaya ka. Not by means na kailangan mo sumabay sa uso. And collecting isn't cheap, guys. Hindi naman siya cheap. Yan. Kaya tayo nakaka-collect kasi meron na tayong trabaho at the same time, we can actually spend money for that. So, yun lang. Kung ano man yung gusto nyo i-collecta, i-enjoy nyo. Huwag nyo lang itago sa baul. Once in a while, paglaruan nyo.
Yes.
Kasi yung iba dyan, mga ngolekta, tapos titignan lang sa drawer. Ano? Okay.
Sir Joel ba yan?
Hindi, si Tito Joel, alam ko, once in a while, nilalaro niya yan. Hindi pwedeng hindi nilalaro. Kasi addict yan sa handhelds eh.
It's true.
So,
It's
yun.
true.
So again, this is Retro Freak Gaming. You can catch me on my page. And we're actually playing Final Fantasy 7. At the same time, nagmamighty number 9 tayo. Platforming game din. At the same time, Resident Evil Village. So, yun. So, that's it. Thank you.
Alright, thank you for that survey. How about, syempre, ang may-ari ng 90% ng handheld dito sa PRG, si si Sir Joel. Closing remarks po, handheld gaming, and where can they find you, Sir Joel?
All right. So, closing remarks regarding handheld gaming. It is a matter of personal preference. Personally, I believe handheld gaming is a way of catching up with your childhood because of the fact na, nga na we're on the go a lot nowadays. We're traveling around. We're making sure na ano na we want to do everything that we need to do before, the inevitable happens. Ang akin is handheld gaming is a way for me to be able to catch up to all those games that I always missed out on when I was young. It's not just yung mga Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy original games. It's not just the Sega Game Gear games. It's the fact na, nga na habang lumalaki tayo, it was literally impossible for us to be able to play all of those games that were showing up nung bata pa tayo. And handheld gaming nowadays is our way of catching up to all those things na hindi natin nagawa dati. So my advice to everybody, as has been reiterated by everybody here, collect what you like, play what you like, enjoy what you have. Kung ano ang meron ka, enjoyin mo ng todo-todo dahil yan ang dahilan kung bakit nandiriyan sila. That's the reason why they're there, to enjoy, for you to enjoy them to the fullest. So actually, I would say if you wanted to display them like a museum piece, if that's your enjoyment too, go for it. If you want to play it, go for it. Good on. Walang negativity. The whole point of being retro, being a collector, is positivity, to share the joy to everybody. It's not just to your family, not just to your friends, even to complete strangers passing by. You show them what you have, or you share the joy to them of enjoyment and retro. Like I said, retro is the way to go, and PRG is the place to be. So again, this is the Pinoy Gamer Abroad of the Banyaga Native Facebook gaming channel, part of Pinoy Retro Gaming Network, also streaming on Twitch.tv under the Banyaga Native banner. Currently finishing, actually, I just finished up Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, playing through a very,
I love
really,
that
really
game.
weird PS2 game right now called Tulip, and planning on continuing with the Prince of Persia series, Warrior Within, on PS2 in my next stream. So, just wanted to let everybody know, stay positive, learn as much as you can, spread the joy of retro. On to you, Joe.
Alright. And in regards to one with my closing remarks, the Microvision may have been the first handheld gaming, but Nintendo still revitalized the gaming industry when they came out back in '85, releasing the Game Boy back on the late '80s, early '90s. There was a reason kung bakit sumikat ang Game Boy, because adults were also using it to pass the time, especially the office workers. And with the advent of the console wars between Nintendo and Sega, mas marami pa na mga naging handheld devices that were released, no? And then later years, naglaon, each major video game company released their own handheld. So it ushered in fans who were dedicated on handhelds as well, no? And it's a good thing dahil you got your whether it's a hardcore gamers, whether it's handheld or console gaming, andun pa rin ang ating enjoyment, ang ating love pa rin with video games. We may have different tastes, we may have different preferences, but as the panel have mentioned, it's all depending on the enjoyment that you feel, no? And ika nga ng Nintendo, you're now playing with portable power. No, with your handhelds. Ano? So for all of your gaming needs, guys, kung hindi pa rin kayo miyembro, if meron kayong hanap ng mga retro games, video game accessories, controllers, games, consoles, you can check out our GCP, the Retro Gamers and Collectors of the Philippines. Lahat ng mga panel dito, I think, miyembro na rin. And also PRG, we are very good friends with the members of our GCP and also with Chairman Erwin. Shoutout kay Chairman. Kakapunta lang ni Sir Ray and Sir Bell kina Chairman nung nakaraan ng mga hari ng lason. Sana matanggap na rin ang application ni Sir Joel dahil mas padami pa na lason. and that's it, guys. No, thank you so much for joining us for the evening. Again, Timeless Gamer is available our live video sa Facebook page po ng Pinoy Retro Gaming, sa Twitch every Sunday po yan depending on when we do the show, and our YouTube channel Timeless Gamer PRG, and you can also listen to the audio format of the shows namin by going to Spotify, Apple Podcast or Google Podcast. Just search in Timeless Gamer. Available po lahat yan. And again, guys, thank you so much for being here, and I would like to thank the panel for being here. Thank you so much for providing us with your experiences and your knowledge. And see you guys next time. And once again, our bodies and our games may grow out of date, but our gaming experiences will forever remain timeless. Bye-bye, guys.
Masarap ka din, pre.
Ayan.
Sir Eric. Sir Eric, what's up?